also feel like they'll struggle to get the ball to the boundary before the ground gets dried.
What is total you want to restrict your opponents to in the first innings?
I mean, that's like the personal stuff. Maybe like 120, 110, because they have a very
Well, this is the Nigeria Super League.
One important aspect of the game has been concluded, and that is the toss, with the Central Eagles being sent in to bat first by the skipper, Taiwo Mohammed. And this is looking to be another exciting fixture, match day 2 of the Nigerian Super League. A lot of records were set yesterday, but there are still a lot of records yet to be taken and marked. And this is one of 2 matches to be played today. Central Eagles versus the Eastern Elephants. Today we're looking forward to a thrilling contest as the Eastern Eagles face off against the Eastern Elephants face off against the Central Eagles. 2 teams ready for their first battle and another memorable chapter of this growing tournament. And quickly, Bakshaw is back playing, and he will start off at the non-striker's end as the skipper Taiwo Mohammed takes up the ball, and we open bowling and cut the ribbons for match day 2. So it seems the players are already a little bit cloudy at the moment, but the umpires have decided that the field is fit for play, and play will certainly commence. Today promises yet another fascinating chapter as we turn our attention to very highly anticipated games. Records were set yesterday with first run, first boundary, first maximum, first wicket, and we even saw activities such as the first duck, golden duck, and some things finding themselves on the bad side, on the other side of the records, losing their very first game of the Nigerian Super League. But there's one thing that always remains is that the first ball will always be bowled in every game and every inning. But today, I would not be running commentary alone. I have here with me a colleague who had earlier taken the toss in the middle, Seun Ajidawa. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Peter. It's an absolute pleasure and delight to be back here at the commentary position. This is what Mr. President Dr. Uyo Sanosawa Rakwata talked about on Sunday, April 19, 2026, when the Club Cricket Committee League came to a fitting end and Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club emerged as champions. And he said, we want to have a league after this tournament to see our players have an opportunity. And this is what we are seeing today, the Nigeria Super League, a competition that has elite players and core players all geared towards having the players of the national team have more game time and emerging superstars also, strut their stuff and show their talent. So this game, like we are seeing, is a battle between Taiwo and, of course, Peter. Who wins this battle? Only time will tell.
2 teams already have themselves victory as the two other teams find themselves at the bottom half of the table. And one team certainly today after the end of this fixture might join them at that bottom half. But as it stands right now, 2 matches have been completed, 4 teams have played And 2 of the 4 teams that played yesterday will be playing today and taking their first victory after this match. But as it stands now, one team have that opportunity to join the first 2 at the top half of the table.
Captain Taiwo Mohammed, left arm bowler, player of the national team of Nigeria, coming from the Court of Appeal end. See that again on replay. Umpire Habib Dahiru Amoto Enesi, certainly not interested. I'll share 1 or 2 things with you concerning umpire Enesi alongside his other umpire Sukomi Odedili.
Yeah, and quickly, if you look at the team list there, it is Peter Aho, the captain, Aziz Waris, Chima Akaku, Emmanuel Boniface, Happy Backshaw, Ifeanyi Ubo, Karim Ayoku, Mohamed Moshood, Oladejo Mohamed of the Central Eagles.
Ladies and gentlemen, Happy Backshaw gone. Taiwo Mohammed strikes as the captain. And you can see a dejected figure. Happy Backshaw not recording any run or runs whatsoever to his name. Bowled by Taiwo Mohammed. See that again on replay. And this will help you appreciate the bowling of Taiwo Mohammed. Swing and a miss, and the ball gets the stump to send Happy Backshaw back to the pavilion to meet his teammates.
Yeah, a lot of records are being set, and this is the first time in this tournament that a team is losing a wicket without registering a run on the board first. And luckily for the Central Eagles, they are the first team to suffer that fate as Backshaw will walk back disappointed without contributing a single run on the board off the bat for the Central Eagles.
Peter, it's interesting to say that the other batter for the Central Eagles is another player of the national team of Nigeria, Salim Salau. On his day, he can wreck any team. And in comes another batter, Moshood. And for the Central Eagles, Peter Hall, the captain, Aziz Waris, Chima Akachuku, Emmanuel Boniface, Happy Backshaw, who just lost his wicket, Ifeanyi Ubo, Karim Ayoku, Mohamed Moshood, who just got into the batting crease now, Oladejo Emmanuel, Salim Salau, and of course, Adebayo Samson. We share with you what the Eastern Elephant score looks like quickly. Captain Taiwo Mohammed, who just got the wicket, Dada Tolu Alashe, Femi Oresonwo, Victor Ipoli, Jimo Abdurrahman, Karim Gafar, Muhammad Ridwan, Paul Palm, Pius Favor, Ramon Ali, and of course, Onno Shagbe Joshua. In comes the elder brother of Taiwo. Brothers. It's not a family game, so if there is need for him to play his brother or get his wicket, he will definitely do.
There has been a lot of brother counter in this tournament. Especially, we saw it yesterday, Isaac Okwe going against Sylvester Okwe, and we saw the Cecily brothers with one taking the wicket of the other. And today we have seen another brothership encounter. That just tells you just how much bond cricket creates and how impactful it is, and how you unite family and bring family together regardless of whatever side they find themselves playing on. They still find that moment to bond one way or the other. He had on the deck and was punished, but didn't race to the boundary as the fielder was put in that place to prevent any big boundary or any boost in the score for the Central Eagles, as they will have to work hard and playing into the spaces.
During the first innings, Peter, they just got one run off Taiwo Mohammed, and he got a wicket. That was Salim Salau. And now is Jimo Abdurrahman, another player of the national team of Nigeria, but unfortunately missed out on the second West Africa trophy that Nigeria hosted, coming from the pavilion end. The first wide for today.
in terms of extras have been really limited in this tournament. We've not seen too many extras, and most of the times when those extras are looking like they are playing these courtesy of by fours, but in terms of wides and no balls, they've been very, very minimal in the last 2 matches played. The Central Eagles, we will have to work for every single run that they need. The fielding is still tight. It is still the power play overs, and they will need to exploit the field and find the gaps as quickly as possible and try and put something on the board before more wickets starts to fall.
There was going to be a break in communication between Salim Salau and Moshood, but then that danger was averted. Jimo Abdurrahman still threatening the storms of Mohamed Moshood. Coincidentally, Mohamed Moshood, Peter, was the captain of Team Lagos at the 22nd competition that has all the states take part. And I'm talking about
three runs in this over, 2 extras, and Jimo will look to complement on what Mohamed Taiwo has started off giving out just 1 run, picking up a wicket after trying several times, putting a lot of swing behind the ball. Finally, they find the gap, but it still doesn't reach to the boundary, but it gives them that breakthrough in running between the wickets, adding 2 more runs for the team. And finally, Mohamed Moshood ticks off the board for himself and adds more to the board for the Central Eagles.
And I was talking about Mohamed Moshood, the captain of the Lagos team at the 22nd National Sports Festival that was hosted in Ogun State. Unfortunately, all the competitions that Team Lagos put in for, they never got a medal. I mean, for the male team. Oh, great shot there. A lovely piece of fielding. And 2 runs in addition to the total runs that they already have. And after the second over, the Central Eagles have 8 runs for the loss of 1 wicket, and that's the wicket of Happy Backshaw. And that name, Happy, he will definitely not be happy that he didn't score runs. The projected score at this rate will be 80 because the current run rate is at 4.00. And Peter, you heard the interview at the center. Peter Hall, the captain of the Central Eagles, wanted to field. But unfortunately, he lost the toss, and so he was put in to go and bat. He plays it up. And the intent is clear. Ladies and gentlemen, the first maximum. Oh my world. Salim Salau is in the mood. The first maximum for today. And see that shot. All efforts ended in futility. 6 for the person putting on 6 at the back of his jersey.
That's what you expect. Time will put that ball way outside of the wicket, and the only thing to do was just go for it, and Salim Salau did justice to a loose ball. Mohamed Taiwo really has been swinging the ball very often, but hasn't really found that line to keep the ball at. He's really been focusing more on the leg stump, and that ball swings out too very frequently. The last time he pitched on a very good length to Backshaw, and that swing came in, it dislodged the Bills. He needs to find that line and probably will get the wicket. Dwight trying. Big bounce and caught in between the gap. Does it race to the rope? No, it doesn't. Big stop at the boundary. As 4 runs was prevented, and they will settle for 2 runs. Give a big chase to that ball and make sure that that 4 wasn't actualized. Already they had a slow start, but look at that ball. Just caught it very, very late into himself and into the gap as well. You have to acknowledge that attempt to stop the ball. It was a very beautiful one, and it was justified.
Effort is everything we talk about, and the effort put in by the fielder to stop that ball from going for 4, and the support he got from Paul Palm is quite commendable. There's a difference between 4 runs and 2 runs. See that again on replay. That is beautiful. This is what you want to see in a competition of this magnitude. Lovely pickup, just some inches to the ball going for 4, and he stopped that. That was beautiful, and we commend the fielder for that.
Central Eagles captain Peter will be making sure that the team is well prepared into the batting order. And as for the captain of the Eastern Elephants, we really need to find his line back. He's been swinging the balls quite a lot, but he needs to keep those balls on the stump, anything on the leg, and with those swings, those balls are going to be nothing less than an extra. Better length this time, a better line, as that ball came in and made Salim Salau uncomfortable and couldn't play off of it. He has a very good swing, very good in swing. What just remains is to capitalize and remain consistent on that lane, and also bowling variations. It's becoming predictable now. And now they will give a big chase to not a bite, but a wide ball. A leg by. He's called by the umpire. 1 extra run. Salim Salau gets into he was already on double figure, gets himself off the strike and sends Mohammad Mashood. Both batters currently on 100% strike rate for the Central Eagles.
1 more good ball to be bowled, and we would have come to the end of the 3rd over. A brotherly affair now. But still, Taiwo could not get the wicket of Mashood, and they take 1 run to bring us to the end of the 3rd over. And that is 20 runs for loss of 1 wicket. Big shout out to all our umpires, umpire Wale Adekoya. That stop is everything you want to see. And I must say that the man who stopped that owes me something that I have to keep discreet so I don't get fined for making a huge pronouncement. Shout out to all our umpires. Umpire Ramon Adilakun, umpire Temitopo Oniko Ijabar, umpire Sukomi Odedele, umpire Habib Dairu Amoto NSC, umpire Taiwo Oladunjoye, umpire Kende Olabiwonu. Big shout out to all these umpires. We are very, very grateful of the immense work that they put in.
Boldful and a late reaction from Mohamed Mashood. That ball really would have been sent to the boundary if it was anticipated. Bowling Fuller now and Mohamed Mashood. Salim Salau takes himself off the strike, sending Mohamed Mashood back on strike. You can already sense that both teams understand the importance of a strong start. The batters, we want to find the rhythm and keep on rotating strikes, while the fielding will be very much more focused on creating catch chances and getting the wickets the Bills dislodged as quickly as they possibly can. Change the length of the ball. And Mohamed Moshood has taken himself off strike for the second time in this over.
You just have to say that what we saw in the previous over, which was the third over from Captain Taiwo Mohammed, was a bit disappointing if you juxtapose with what happened in the first innings, where he got a wicket and also was only able to concede 1 run, and fast track to what happened when he bowled his second over. Dropped opportunity there for Jimoh Abdurrahman. And I hope he won't look back at this opportunity that was presented to him that he missed as one of the reasons these guys go on to do well. Opportunity miss. Wow, all hands on head says everything about that opportunity.
There's something Jimoh has been doing which has been very, very, just tells you the level of experience he has. Bowling full length, full yucca length to Salim Salau and taking those balls back, bowling on the good length to Mohamed Moshood. He knows where they can play, he knows their playing region, and is making sure to restrict them and make them play out of their style, which seems to be working, as there has not been too many runs of the last 5 balls. 3 runs so far, 2 dots for Salim Salau.
You can say that again, Peter. The first over he bowled, he conceded 8 runs, and now just 2 giving away. But just when we poured eulogies on him, that stand for that 2 runs will come. And all that just happened, Peter, is that he halved what happened when he bowled his first innings, which was 8 runs, and now he just gave away 4 runs. Things are gradually moving for the Central Eagles. 25 runs for loss of 1 wicket, the wicket of Happy Backshaw after just 4 overs. The current run rate has improved considerably to 6.25, and the projected score at this stage is 125. And I'm sure that will be to the delight of the captain of the Central Eagles. And I'm sure that will be to the delight of the captain of Central Eagles, Peter Hall, as well as the coaches, Coach Ademola Onikoyi, and of course, Coach Friday Udo. I think we should just do this, Peter, to appreciate the effort of Pius Favor. That was a brilliant effort, stopping that 4 runs and making it just 2 runs.
While you appreciate what Favor had done there, this word doesn't really compliment what they have done. Victor Ipoli pulling that ball way outside of the batter's reach, almost bowling a no ball in that stead. And that was a lucky escape of giving the batter an immunity chance for Obobe. Now he gets to make corrections for that ball being bowled. This is much better. Very much better than the last ball. And it remains to see if he will maintain consistency. But so far, a very good comeback by Victor Ipoli.
See that again on replay. The eulogy is poured on Victor Ipoli by Peter. You have to say Victor Ipoli on his day too, very decent bowler. And he plays for Federal Government College, Warri Old Student Association.
This is the first time in this tournament we've seen a team drop more than one catch opportunity. No team has actively dropped any catch opportunity up until today. And like I said, there's still a lot more records to be broken to be set in the record books. This is one of them by the Eastern Eagles. Could have done better there, Femi. And couldn't hold on to that ball and has denied his teammate, Ikwoli Victor, a chance of joining the wicket charts. Similar to the first, and a wide ball is the signal for Victor Ikwoli. And then see Habib, the outstanding umpire, has penalized the bowler for that bad delivery.
You talk about the man who dropped that catch, Femi Oreson, who was a member of Nigeria's under-19 team at the International Cricket Council under-19 qualifiers that Nigeria hosted, and Tanzania got that opportunity to represent Africa alongside South Africa.
That would have been the 4 runs there if you look at it. That would have been the 4 runs there if you look at it. But it looks like Favour Pius likes the boundary ropes as he stops that ball close to the boundary ropes for the second time in this inning. More all hands on deck. Favour has been very active. And it's another extra against the Eastern Elephants, courtesy of Ikwoli Victor, the third extra in this over. We still have 2 more balls in the 5th over.
The captain had to encourage him to say, you can do better, Victor, and be victorious to get the wickets. And that has worked. And you talked about Pius Favour, Peter, running that channel. The effort of Pius Favour reminds me of myself when fielding in that region. I make sure nothing goes past me. Great bowling to bring us to the end of the 5th over. Peter, take us through where we are and where we might be at the end of the 20th over if it goes like this.
Yeah, so far in the games like this, when you see the first few overs, that is the power play over, often tells you a lot. Not necessarily who will win, but it tells you for certain that who is settling better and forcing the game on their terms. Unlike yesterday, in the meeting between the second 2 teams to play, the Western Dolphins and the Middlebelt Tigers, there were a lot of rotation in terms of momentum, where momentum wasn't staying too long on one team's end. But today, it seems like the Central Eagles, even though the Eastern Elephants started first, but the Central Eagles, for some reason, are looking to have more balance going into in the last 3 overs of play, having already registered 30. That is a run of every ball that has been completed for them so far.
Mohamed Moshood, having faced 12 balls, scored 8 runs. Salim Salau has faced 15 balls and scored 14 runs. And coming to bowl for the Eastern Elephants, sporting jersey number 30, Izu Chukwu Okeke.
Yoke length. They didn't travel too far. Favour has now been brought in. Favour Pius currently an infielder fielding at mid-on. And so far, it's still yet to be beaten by any ball of any sort. Only one team so far has used a spin bowler in the power play, and that was the Middlebelt Tigers against the Western Dolphins. In the air, into the gap, and that will be another maximum for the Central Eagles, courtesy of Mohamed Moshood.
It's just simple. What Salim Salau thinks he does it very well. And that was a brilliant strike there from Selim Salau. The second maximum from Selim Salau.
Good comeback from that first ball that saw him play for the boundary. Selim Salau waited for that ball and immediately off the first bounce picked it before any heights could be actualized for the ball. And Okeke had seen through that and has made sure to do some sort of withdrawal on the board, make some sort of withdrawal on the board and make that ball good stop back the wicket keeper behind the stumps. Would have been a leg by at that point, but he's prevented any extra runs from actualizing. And the Central Eagles are already off to a very good start. 2 more balls until we end the power play. And so far, the game is still looking steady with projected score sitting at 127. It remains to see if the Central Eagles can play out to the very end of this game and play up at this level.
Aside from that maximum scored by Selim Salau to bring his total runs to 20, you have to say that Okeke Izuchukwu has come back from adversity and he has done well. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, one bounce for just when I was pouring eulogies on Okeke Izuchukwu, Selim Salau had other ideas. This looks like Genesis and Revelation. He started with a 6 maximum and ended with a 4. First ball and last ball.
Yeah, there's a reason why Jimo was bowling at much fuller length to Selim Salau, and that's because he knows where Selim Salau plays best, and he plays balls at that length, which Okeke failed to recognize, and he's been punished 2 times in an over, and that brings the score for the Central Eagles sitting at 40 for just 1 wicket lost, as the power play is being signaled to have come to an end by the umpire.
Talking about umpire Habib Dairu Amoto NSC, before I talk about that, for the Central Eagles, Selim Salau, 24 runs from 21 balls, 1-4 and 266 on a strike rate of 114, being assisted by Mohamed Mashood, who has got 8 runs from 12 balls, and they have 40 runs for loss of 1 wicket after 6 overs. Run out chance and run out opportunity missed there. I'm sure the 2 coaches of the Eastern Elephants who will be a bit worried based on the way the Central Eagles are moving. After this replay, I will be telling you the 2 coaches. It was appealing, but the umpire was not interested. Umpire Habib Dairu Amoto NSC and Victor Ipoli coming from the Court of Appeal end. What is going on? Who offended Selim Salau? Another maximum. The only person that has not had a taste of Selim Salau's maximum is Jimo Abdurrahman, and that is the person that Peter was chronicling how he was bowling, that's your talent, knowing what these people can do, but everybody who has bowled today have had a taste of it. Taiwo Mohammed, he collected. Izuchukwu Okeke, he got his own. Victor Ipoli also got his own. Maximum. 3 maximums. Absolutely brilliant from Selim Salau.
Better length this time and better height, and was dealt with properly by Selim Salau. Didn't feel too overconfident, having just played a 6. He knows the kind of bowler like Poli Victor is, and he expected him to come up with some tricks off his sleeve, which he did and was probably dealt with. He's already got 7 runs in this over for the Central Eagles, and they've got more chances. That is 1 more run, takes himself off strike. And Mohamed Moshood will just be there complementing the abilities of Salim Salau. So far, only one team has been able to play out a 50-run partnership, which was played yesterday, and the Central Eagles are 3 runs shy of building up a 50-run partnership. The second 50-run partnership we'll be seeing in this tournament.
And we also have to say that Victor Ipoli bowling to Salim Salau is a battle of 2 teammates who know each other so well. 48 for loss of 1, 6.5 overs gone. I'm sure Coach Tamuno John and Coach Efosa Agaoa will be a bit worried with what is currently going on. They started out like an house on fire. You can imagine, Peter, after the first over, they were on 1 run and they have lost 1 wicket. Happy Backshore. But fast track to the end of the 7th over, they are on 7 runs per over, 49 for 1. See the bowling, Taiwo Mohammed, 12 runs conceded after 2 overs, 1 wicket. Jim Abdurrahman, 2 overs, 5 dot balls, 12 runs, no wicket. Victor Ipoli, 7 dot balls, 2 overs, 13 runs, no wicket. Okeke Izuchukwu, 4 dot balls, 1 over, 10 runs, no wicket. And that's how the bowlers of the Eastern Elephants have been. I'm sure the coach of the Eastern Elephants will be passing a communication message to the captain that a lot needs to be done. And I need to also ask you, Peter, do you think that someone like Jim Abdurrahman will be looking back to say an opportunity presented itself and I missed that opportunity, which was he would have caught Salim Salau from that bowling? Now Salim Salau is unstoppable.
Yeah, you know what they say, never give a batter an extra life, because when you do, it will punish you for it. And they gave Salim Salau an extra life, and he's capitalizing on that. Remains to see Mohamed Moshood, who was also dropped at the Covers region, to see him pay them back for that opportunity he's been gifted. Driven straight, and not unusual to see Pius Favor out the boundary ropes making an excellent stop, preventing any ball from going to the boundary from his own end, as they will settle for only 1, and that 1 run has brought Salim Salau on strike. New bowler, but could also be a victim of Salim Salau's big eyes.
The new bowler sporting jersey number 11 coming from the pavilion end, Mohamed Ridwan. Now they've decided to reduce the pace and bring on spinner and probably cut down on the runs. Don't forget that this tournament we have elite opening batters, core opening batters, elite pace bowlers, core pace bowlers, elite spinners, core spinners, elite all-rounders, and core all-rounders. Oh, that was acrobatic there from the fielder.
Good shot and good stop in the deep. If you look now, the field has been very, very expanded to suit Salim Salau's playing style. And the extra tons, you could see any big shot go up in the air. There is a deep square leg, a deep mid wicket, long on being employed, as well as the extra covers. And deep square leg doing the function that is being placed there for stopping that ball, as Salim Salau is off strike, coming off for Mohamed Moshood for the last ball of the 8th over. An opportunity that Salim Salau was praying for went to Mohamed Moshood, as that full toss wasn't properly dealt with, but they will settle for one off of it.
See that acrobatic stuff again? Just makes me remember what they taught us in school about gymnastics, that says gymnastics can be defined as the naked act of rolling, vaulting, and somersaulting. And what he just did was to somersault. Excellent there. 8 overs gone, 54 runs on board, 1 wicket lost. The current run rate is at 6.75. The projected score is at 135. Salim Salau, 34 runs from 28 balls. And Mohamed Moshood, 11 runs from 17 balls. Anchoring very well and forming a good partnership with his other batter. We are getting into the ninth over, and I was talking about Habib Dairu Amoto Enesi, the umpire who made us proud by getting that appointment as the first Nigerian to join the International Cricket Council Development Panel of International Umpires. And this is exclusive to associate countries. And of course, we all know that Habib Dahiru Amoto Balogun Enesi made his debut as an umpire, international umpire, in Potchefstroom, South Africa, back in 2018.
We haven't seen any boundaries since the spinners were brought in, and they've continued with that, sending in the Karim Gafar, who captained the Nigeria under-19 side at the last qualifier A, which they lost, which gives Tanzania the chance of going to the World Cup. This time it was caught behind, slashed beyond the reach of the wicket keeper, and for the first time a ball beats Pious favor to the boundary, and that is 4 more runs. The runs are not coming in front, but they will come from behind. Just nicks it beneath the keeper's gloves, and Pious already gave up, knowing that ball was no longer a ball within reach.
Reality dawned on him that I still have an opportunity to bat. Let me not come and overstress myself. Karim needs to do better. Gafar. But we know what he brings to the table. On his day also, he can be a very disruptive bowler. Like my colleague said, Peter, he was the captain of Nigeria when we hosted the ICC Africa qualifiers. And at the end of the day, Nigeria got relegated to Division 2. Much better bowling there from Karim Gafar. The battle of Ibejulekri Cricket Club 1 versus Federal Government College Warri Old Student Association. They know each other so well. They are familiar foes. Much better bowling there from Karim. Aside from that, 4 runs, he cut down on those runs. And after the night over, they are 59 for 1. You have to say that in between these two batters, they've gotten 58 runs. Because when Happy Backshaw, who didn't score any runs at all, was batting with Salim Salau, they only scored 1 run in that over that got his wicket. And the projected score will be 131 at this rate, where their current run rate is at 6.56. It is still the Nigeria Super League. 6 teams in attendance, and we already saw 2 matches. The next game that will come up, by God's grace, at 1 p.m., we'll see the Sharks, who got swallowed yesterday, taking on the Dolphin. A battle of the amphibians. Who swallowed? Dolphin versus Shark. That battle. Vincent versus Isaac. Captain of the Dolphin is Vincent, another player of the national team of Nigeria, and the best fielder at the just concluded Club Cricket Committee League. While for Isaac, after that loss against his brother, he will want to bounce back. Let's see how it all pans out. Lovely cuts there. But the fielder at backward of point ensured that there was no run. And that's Aziz Waris. I'm yet to see him bowl. They steal that run. Intelligent running in between the wickets.
They have been very consistent. You know, the runs are no longer coming off of the bat off the boundaries, towards the boundary rows, to my corrections. And neither have they been coming between the wicket, but they certainly have taken their chances in making sure that runs are being scored per over. They already have a runs per ball ratio sitting at 61 after they just completed 10th over. Current run rate sits at 6.20, the projected of 124. There is still there's still a very high chance of posting something more competitive. We saw yesterday with the Western Dolphins putting 129, a score total that we thought that might be very defendable. But in a matter of time, the Middle Belt Tiger chased it, even putting up 133 after a maximum off of the last ball. I saw them pick their boundary and pick victory. So far, we are already into the drinks breaks, as we will be coming back along with the umpires and the playing sides. already after the water break. The water break has ended and play is set to resume with Salim Salah and Mohamed Moshood already posting the new highest batting partnership, 60 of 24 balls. So my correction, all 54 balls that they have paired themselves with together make that 61. Between the legs of the fielder, and they will take that chance for a single. Salim Salah has taken himself off a strike, joining Ankara at the top of the batting with the highest individual batting score, joined top with Ankara on 40 apiece. Salim Salah will have a chance to score more and go above on the batting chart, but for now, the Central Eagles are having a boost 63. It sits at
Peter, you offended me this morning. You ask why. Ask why. You didn't reference our number one sponsor. Our number one sponsor is God Almighty, who has ensured that we have a perfect weather to play the game. Did you hear that sound? That sound, my heart was beating. When I heard that sound, I was like, please, heaven, please, we want this game to go ahead as planned. But then that was on the light mode. And Karim Ghaffar is coming again from the Court of Appeal end into the 11th over.
Mohamed Moshood also taking himself off the strike, and Salim Salah, who is currently joined top with the highest individual score, has a chance of taking himself above of Ankara and setting himself as the number one batter on the batting chart as it stands. Every record that was set yesterday can still be broken, as it's just the opening chapter, and there's still many more pages for everybody to register their names in it.
We are going to do an exercise for us, Peter. You keep talking about records. Some persons are just joining us for the very first time today. Can you just, maybe much later, you will share a few records with us about what happened yesterday and the opportunity that beckons as we get into today's game. 10.4 overs gone, 66 runs for loss of 1 wicket. Karim still bowling. No run. Central Eagles versus Eastern Elephants. Match 3, day 2 of the Nigeria Super League. Big shout out to the president of Nigerian Cricket Federation, Dr. Uyo Sanu Sawaru Akpata, for a fantastic innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, the chicken has come home to roast. And finally, he loses his wicket. And they don't drop any catch anymore. Femi Oresonwo gave Mohamed Moshood another life. But Victor Ipoli, he's saying, no, I will not do that. See that again on replay. That was too full. And there is Victor Ipoli who got that catch.
All 3 maximums for the Central Eagles have been scored by Salim Salah. Mohamed Moshood wanting to register himself in that record, seeing himself lose that wicket. Didn't meet that ball really well. Expected probably a late turn, and as such was hesitant with that shot and sends that ball into the hands of the fielder in the deep.
Why do I have a slight thought about that ball going for a maximum? The ball was looking more like, if Victor Ipoli had dropped that catch, it was going to be more like a one bounce for. Maybe a replay would show us what I was talking about. It doesn't look like that ball was going to go for a maximum.
Yeah, certainly it wasn't going for a maximum. Would have been a bounce for, but the fielder was there, raced to the ball, And that is the reward. Salim Salah with a much better job this time. Salim Salah finding the maximum for the 4th time. This is the most number of maximums anyone has played in a match. Salim Salah with 4. The previous was 2 by Chilimanya for the Blue Bell Tigers yesterday. And today Salim Salah on 4, pulling that ball at an uncomfortable space and gets that big, much needed 4. Earlier on, you were asking me for records. The first run yesterday, the first wicket actually for yesterday was taken by Northern Lions' very own Elijah Sunday. The first wicket for yesterday was taken by Isesele Odion. Renet Osage taking the first wicket of the game. The first run, the first boundary was scored by Isesele Odion. The first catch was taken by Abdullahi Abdulganiyu of the Northern Lions. And we had the first 50 runs partnership between Muiz and Ajekun Daniel, posting 53 runs partnership. The one record that is being yet to be set is the first batter to score half a century, with Salim Salah closely approaching that figure, as he already has 48 to his name of 41 balls faced.
And the new batter for Team Central Eagles is Emmanuel Boniface. Much better bowling there from Mohamed Ridwan. That ball where he was hit for that maximum was a very full ball, and you don't do that to a batter like Salim Salah, who is just 2 shots of scoring an half century, becoming the first player to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, another maximum, the 5th one, and he crosses that 50 with a maximum.
And the Central Eagles, for a reason, as those balls have been in the air more times than they've been on the ground, as the Elephants have failed to keep the ball at an advantage on the ground level. The Eagles soaring, sending the ball flying, and Salim Salah contributing 54 of the 80 runs scored by the Central Eagles.
Peter, I have asked that question several times, but after the 12th over, we are on 80 runs for loss of 2 wickets. See that again on replay. I'm sure what my producer wants to show me is maximum, and that is the 5th maximum. And for those of you who are proponents of mathematics, if you have scored 5 maximums in a single game, that is already 30 runs, aside from the other runs that you have scored. I was asking you a question, Peter. What is going through the mind of Jimoh Abdurrahman?
And the captain of the Houston Elephants, Taiwo Mohammed, who certainly need to, see well Jimoh Abdurrahman. As Jimoh Abdurrahman still yet to be played for a maximum, and Karim Ghaffar, both bowlers have very well known Salim Salah, and they've kept that ball at a much fuller length, as he's on several occasions picked the ball off the first bounce, and 5 times we've seen him get that reward of a maximum. Second time, and the ball beat Femi Oresonwo at the cover region, but good backup, and 2 runs for the Central Eagles. Salim Salah not stopping at that 50, as he's adding more runs to not just his own scorecard, but to the Central Eagles as well.
Peter, when I was asking the captain of the Eastern Elephants, Taiwo Mohammed, after winning the toss, what informed that decision for him to elect to field, he said, in the morning, there's usually a bit of a dew at the center, and that means the playing surface might not be good enough for batting. The reason he chose to field, And I ask you further, what do you intend to restrict your opponents to? Initially told me it was a personal decision, but after much pressure, he actually told me a 110 or a 120 because he knows this side is a good batting side, something they can chase in the second innings. But the way these things is going, I don't think the projection of Taiwo Mohammed restricting them to 110 or 120 might still happen if Salim Salao continues to bat.
Salim Salao, the longer it stays there, the more comfortable it gets, the longer this game is going to drag. Mind you, new opening batter has started the game and finished it as they've lost the wicket at some point in the game. Ajekun Daniel coming close yesterday until the fall of his wicket. And Salim Salao might actually get on the record books for the second time today if he plays out this over. He already has the highest number of maximums by any batter in an inning of 5, going more than double of the person in second place. The game is still very long, and the Central Eagles have a lot of wickets at hand as we're going into the last phase of this inning. It is going to be a long drag. It is going to be more thrilling, and more certainly, it is going to see Jimoh Abdurrahman come back and try to do the impossible, as it seems like that Salim Salao has made that popping crease his home. Back with the much full length, and Salim Salao still yet to find a way of unlocking his ability against the bowling prowess of Jimoh Abdurrahman. That was close. That was very close. Late reaction. That ball stayed low for Salim Salao as he could really watch that ball end in the gloves of the wicket keeper. Jimoh Abdurrahman knows what he's doing, as well as Abdul Karim Jafar, and that is one of the reasons why they've not been victims of the terror of Salim Salao.
You can say that again. Though he's yet to get a wicket, he's doing everything humanly possible to cut down on the runs. But that's 4 runs, and he will say to himself, it is 4 and not maximum.
This time, for some reason, the ball came more slower and the length much shorter, and that gave Salim Salao all the chances and all the time to assess the ball, find the gap, and that he did, adding 4 more runs to the Central Eagles board. 61 he already sits at. 21 more runs than the next person on the batting chart. Decides to rest his muscles and take a breather. Salim Salao, as he takes himself off a strike, sending Boniface Oche to come on strike. Boniface Oche, also a very capable batter. For some reason, he's going to be there while Salim Salao takes the strikes. He makes sure to rotate, and as they look to try and put up something very competitive on the board. There wasn't any figure, if I remember, if I recall, there wasn't any figure, but what the Central Eagles have is that they want to put something that they know that the Eastern Elephants would not be able to chase.
Effort ended in futility for Mohammed Ridwan, and that ball has gone for 4. Unlike Jimoh Abdurrahman, in 1 over, he's giving away 8 runs, which was what happened when he bowled his first over, where he gave away 8 runs, but came back better in the second over by giving away just 3 runs. But now he's giving away 8 runs back to back. In 1 over, there's been 2 fours. I'm sure you want to cut down on that into the last good ball, emphasis on good ball of the 14th over. Forward defensive is approved by International Cricket Council. 14 overs gone, 93 runs on board, 2 wickets down. Happy Backshaw and Mohamed Moshood. And see that again, Salim Salau on 62 runs after facing 51 balls, 3 fours and 5 sixes, 121.57 strike rate. Abi Bakshaw did not score any runs after facing 3 balls. Mohamed Moshood, 14 runs he scored, and Emmanuel Boniface Oche is on 100% strike rate. 6 balls he has faced and has scored 6 runs, including 1 4. That's how things are. Yet to bat Chima Akachuku, Ifeanyi Ubo, Captain Peter Or, Karim Ayoku, Aziz Waris. We are getting into the 15th over, and according to International Cricket Council, the new way they expect teams that are batting to play the first 6 overs, they call it launch, which you call it power play. But the launch I'm talking about is not L-U-N-C-H, but L-A-U-N-C-H, so expect you to launch. The 7th over to the 14th over, they expect that you consolidate. And from the 15th over to the 17th over, they want you to accelerate. And from the 18th over to the 20th over, they say finish. That was a wide ball there delivered by Karim Gafar. 1 additional runs.
That full length wasn't threatening the stumps, and that gave Salim Salau the chance to get himself off the strike. And Oche Boniface, another spinner himself, knows just what to do in situations like this. Karim Jafar would need to take a different manner of approach when bowling to this lad. Cannot bowl to him the same way he bowls to Salim Salau, because Oche has that ability to find big spaces. Since the second over, the Central Eagles have been dominant, refusing to give any bit of momentum to the Eastern Elephants. And they want to push this game down to the very end, play out the overs, put up hopefully more than 129, because currently the new highest total, the highest individual score by any team sits at 133, which the Middlebelt Tigers scored in the chase against the Western Dolphins. To feel safe, they will need to do more than the Middlebelt Tigers did, as we are aware of the batting order for the Elephants coming into the second inning. So far, Karim Jafar hasn't given out too many runs. And like I said, Oche Boniface was going to punish if there was no changes to his bowling style. Karim Gafar bowling the same line he bowls to Salim Salau, and what he did was play that ball over the bowler straight down the field, and that was 4 more runs. Already crossed the 100-run mark at they sit at 101 for the Central Eagles. Played down this time, driven off, as there was a fielder in the deep, as they will settle for 1 run. And end to the 15th over, 5 more overs to play. It is 102 on the board, still 2 wickets lost.
We have 5 more good overs to be bowled to bring us to the end of the first innings. A swing and a miss from Emmanuel Oche Boniface. But you hear some persons call him Boniface, who has faced 11 balls and scored 12 runs. And Ipoli is back, but this time around from the pavilion end. Poor fielding there from Gafar, Karim, and 1 became 2.
As we're getting into the closing stages of this first inning, there's a whole lot of work to be done by the Elephants. Right now, the Eagles have 8 wickets at hand, and if the game prolongs like this, we start to see a lot of explosiveness from these 2 batters inside, and that is what they do not want. So they really need to get into that middle order as quickly as possible, but that will take a little bit longer. Big and good attempt from Abdul Karim. Wasn't sure he was going to catch that ball and didn't want to take chances, and would prefer to keep that ball inside than aid it in getting out. That was a big shot. He was unsure if he was inside or going or close to the ropes, and not wanting to take any gamble, just decided to keep that ball down inside. And Emmanuel Boniface escapes that scare, but this time he's been given a second chance. Is it a catch? Yes, it is a 6, caught on the ropes. This decision that worked for Abdul Karim Gafar, not wanting to take any chance. This time he was taken. The chance was the gamble was taken, and it did not pay off, as that 6 was given to the Central Eagles. 71 on the board for Salim Salau. 110 already for the Central Eagles. It is not ending here. It is another 6. 2 6s in same sequence. Fielders helping that ball to the boundary. Wasn't able to return the ball into the field very quickly, Abdul Karim Gafar, and he's had to pay for that. Salim Salau closing in on that century mark, as very quickly he has gotten back-to-back 6s with the aid of the field inside.
What a bad day at the office, you want to say, for Karim on the boundary ropes. See that again on replay. Victor Ipoli, those 2 6s. This was a catch, but outside the boundary rope. And this is another one. There was nothing he could do about that. And stopping that ball from getting into the boundary was inevitable.
Coming from over the wickets, Taiwo Mohammed puts that ball out of the reach of Emmanuel Boniface, which is a good ball, by the way, as acknowledged by the umpire. 5 more balls to be bowled by Taiwo Mohammed. Oche not doing too much, taking himself off strike, trying to help Salim Salau get into that century mark as quickly as possible. Already contributed 77 off the bat for the team, and At this point, he has nothing to lose. Will go all out, and Taiwo, who was the first person to be tested to the boundary by Salim Salau, is bowling to him this time, and he decided to come from around the wicket, going face to face with the most destructive batter in this tournament so far, and as it stands with 77 or 57 balls faced. Captain 2 batter, both national team players for the Yellow Greens. Takes himself off a strike. One thing I like about Salim Salau is his composure. Never too desperate and never too in a haste. He's gotten in 77. There are a lot more balls that he can use to get himself into a century if the need be. But for now, he's rotating strikes and trying to get the ball taken as fast as possible.
He's now on 78 runs from 58 balls faced. Skies it up. Is he safe? Yes, he is. And just one run. Jimo Abdurrahman did all the effort, but that effort did not get Kenneth Oche Boniface back to the batting crease or send him away from the batting crease and allow a new batter to come in.
Taking the run easy as they come, one of every ball for Salim Salau, currently on 79 with that strike. Oche Boniface and Salim Salau are made that crease their homestay. The foundation they have laid so far, especially Salim Salau, have laid the foundation, done the early work, and now it's all about strongly how the batting side can't finish. And then to the 17th overs, it is 120 on the board for just 2 wickets lost.
And one thing we also have to say is that 7 they say is perfection, and 7 they say is that number, and 7 is also that number of days of the week, and he has also scored 7 maximums, and I'm talking about Salim Salau. 120 for loss of 2 wickets after 17 overs. The projected score at this stage will go to 141, making the Central Eagles the team that has scored the highest runs at this tournament. The partnership that we are currently seeing is becoming great, and Victor Ipoli again is back, still in search of his first wicket, and Salim sent him for 4, a teammate he knows so well, but this time around they are operating on different planes. Salim Salau, 17 shots of scoring a century.
The only airborne team, the Central Eagles, have sent the ball flying in the air on multiple occasions. Salim Salau not yet done with the bowling order of the Eastern Elephants. Already has scored 11 boundaries with 4 fours and more maximums, sitting at 7 maximums for the Central Eagles, and he's sitting at 124, 83, 17 shy of 2 records, the first batter to score 50 and probably might be the first with a century, and that too in the early periods of the tournament. Is that a maximum? No, it is not. Caught at the rope. This time the amends has been made as he will not be dropped for the 3rd time in the game. It's been dropped 3 times already, and for the 4th time, my corrections, he has had to walk back to the stands. He has laid the foundation and the phase is shifting. The gears has been set. Prosper Hosseini will come in and push for that extra runs that will help the team make a difference going into the second inning. Already done his own fair share. And there is that ball that took out Salim Salah. What a way to get your wicket, the first wicket, and that too the wicket of the most informed batter as it stands. Izu Okeke with a big and lovely catch in the deep. A 58 runs partnership has been ended abruptly. Salim Salah and Oche Boniface both having a 58 run batting partnership, the second highest partnership we've had after the first one where there was 63 runs partnership before Mohamed Moshood was sent back to the stands. And so far, Salim Salah has set the pace. The game is already at the ending phase of the inning, but there is still enough time for the Central Eagles, enough balls left for the Central Eagles to put more runs on the board and come in to defend it going into the second innings.
Prosper Hosseini, jersey number 75, left-hand batter, left-arm bowler, quick, but sometimes can be destructive when batting. Plays for Ibeju-Lekki Cricket Club 1. And then migrated to a team that did not replicate what the football team in Nigeria does. Super Eagles Cricket Club. He plays in that same club alongside his captain of Central Eagles, Peter Aho. 2 balls, 2 misses.
Typical T20 batter Hosseini Prosper is going to sludge at every ball, and Koli Victor is trying to keep that ball out of his reach, and in the air is that a catch dropped in the day by Paul Palm. That ball was all for the taking, and Paul Palm didn't capitalize on that. What another wicket chance that has been lost. 6 catches have been dropped so far in this game, with Salim Salah getting dropped 3 times, Moshood getting dropped once, Oche Boniface also getting dropped once, and now Prosper Boniface has been the beneficiary of those fielding errors. A scoop, and the 4 is the result of that adventurous play. 4 more runs for the Central Eagles, as they will not be slowing down. 129 they currently sit at, and 18 overs is being completed, already into the last 2 overs it seems, and there is that short again waited for that ball. Already had the shot in mind, and when that ball came at the right angle, it was sent beyond the reach and into the open space at the back. Abraham Jimo, with his last over of play, will come in to bowl the 19th over. This is where, with the 7 wicket at hand, the Central Eagles will test the air more.
The projected score is at 143, since the current run rate is at 7.17. And they are 129 for loss of 3 wickets after 18 overs. We have 12 more good balls to be bowled. And Jimo into his final over. Just 1 run. Jimo doing everything humanly possible to get a wicket. But after bowling 3 overs, he has given away 21 runs.
A score of 129 for 3 there has been solid platform to build. And the question right now is how many more runs can they add from here? And with this final 11 deliveries, will it be a major impact on the overall turnout of this inning and the second inning as well? The fielding side now know that every run saved now could prove very pivotal in their chase, especially in a format where margins can be very, very fine. We saw yesterday when the Western Dolphins put 129. We felt that was a safe score to have on the board up until the second innings, where the Middle Belt Tigers in the closing stages took charge and refused to return momentum to the Western Dolphins until the game was won. On the ground, this time he ends up in the hands of Paul Pambe after a bounce as that ball didn't race to the boundary. And they're rotating 131. It sits at 132 now with 3 consecutive runs of the first 3 balls.
I have to also say here that one of the reasons the captain, Peter Hall, had that discussion with Coach Ademola Onikoyi and Friday Udo, the assistant, was to send Prosper Hosseini at that crucial moment to go in and bat. But since coming on, we've not seen much of Prosper Hosseini. Those shots where he sends bowlers for maximum and boundaries, those prosperous shots, we have not seen it prosper. Maybe just now, we might just see something happen. But then, Prosper Hosseini has faced 5 balls and has scored 3 runs. You can see Oche Boniface changing his gloves, thinking if he has a better gloves, he will score more runs.
Yeah, Oche has been running in between the wickets very, very frequently, and as such, you expect that he will sweat, and his grip around that glove is loose, giving it the gloves probably have been soaked up. And he's there now, and he's going to try and strike. Every ball now is very important. We're already into the penalty meet of this inning. One good hit, one big hit can significantly lift up the total, and one mistake could bring the end innings to a quick close. Just like I said, one big lift, one big hit was all that was needed, and the runs have been boosted by 6 as the runs now sit at the 139. Look at that ball, Abdurrahman Jimo. Now a victim of a maximum, one of the only 2 bowlers that had not been played for a maximum up until now. Said Abdul Karim Ghaffar, and he himself, but now he has tasted that. And he tasted back to back into the board. Prosper Hosseini, a typical T20 hitter, has gone for the maximum successfully on 2 occasions, back to back, against the informed Abdurrahman Jimo. Taking advantage of his left side, knowing that ball swinging outside of off, and he punishes that ball. 145, a new team's highest score posted by the Central Eagles. So many been done today, and this is just the 3rd match of this Nigerian Super League.
See those maximum again on replay. That was the first. And just have a taste of what the second looks like. Stand alone. No need to do any running. Cricket can be cruel. How do you explain a bowler who had bowled 3 overs? To put it properly, he had bowled 3.4 overs without getting any maximum. And then your next 2 final balls to bring your overs complete for 4 overs is back-to-back maximum. Final over, Just when I asked Prosper Hosseini, what can you do? He told me, calm down, pose, I know what I'm doing. And he answered in spectacular fashion. 145 for loss of 3 wickets, 19 overs gone. This is certainly not what Taiwo Mohammed projected, and he's bowling the final over.
Not surprised by the change of ends, but the skipper has been bowling from the cover P end for a while and decided to come at the pavilion end this time.
And just when we asked Taiwo, what are you doing? Taiwo answered us with a wicket. And see that again on replay. Oche Boniface is gone, and Lot. That was a good catch there from Victor Ipoli, but you could see the aura in the team of the Elephants. It is not certainly what they thought was going to happen. That 145 looks like an intimidating score.
A very familiar face on this gun. Look at that catch. Regardless, even though that was a catch, but they know that this game needs more than just a catch. They need to stop this total at the score it is currently sat at, and try and win this and try and come in with a new strategy coming into the second innings. Already Chima Akachuku is batting, a very familiar face on this grounds and at international cricket. Around 45 now is it. Prosper Hosseini is now on strike. Left-hander bowler bowling to a left-hander batter at the moment. Taiwo Mohammed bowling to his national team counterpart, who currently they are playing at the opposite sides domestically.
Yeah, they know each other so well. Taiwo and Prosper used to be in the same team. Ibeju Lekki Cricket Club 1 before Taiwo left for Island Titans Cricket Club. Yes, the season gone by, he didn't really have much to do because of injuries, but we're glad to have him back at his maximum best. And for Chima Akachuku, he had to leave Ibeju Lekki Cricket Club, where at some point in time he was the captain of the Ibeju Lekki Cricket Club 1 and went to MRI Warriors.
Prosper Hosseini, you would always expect him to go big. He doesn't have that time for gentle play. Once he's there in the batting crease, he knows he has one job, and that is to push up the runs, and he's doing just that. 3 maximum. He is added to the team score of the last 3 balls faced. Taiwo, who just got himself a wicket, and Chima taking himself off strike, has been sent to the ropes and looks back to back. Jimo, is this a catch for Jimo? At the second time, he fails to catch it. Already was underneath that ball. I don't know what happened there, but that should have been a catch for Jimo. This was much, much easier than the previous one. And that, I am marveled as it stands. I am in awe. I felt very relaxed. Prosper Hosseini must have felt that he would gone out. Prosper felt very relaxed, thinking that ball would have been a catch. Seeing that ball was dropped, no one can believe it, not even Jimo himself. He knows what he's capable of, and he cannot explain what happened there.
Two more good balls to be bowled. Chima Akachuku on 100% strike rate, even if it sounds funny. 1 ball faced, 1 run scored. Run out chance. Run out opportunity missed. From a run out chance, 1 run became 2 runs. The team looks like they are tired. See that again. see the action of Jimo. He was underneath that ball and he was saying, leave it for me. What happened? My world. My world. That means the man who scored 84 runs, Selim Salau, dropped by Jimo Abdurrahman, and now again he drops Prosper Hussaini. The bowling scorecard of Eastern Elephants. Taiwo Mohammed has 2 wickets, 26 runs, 3.5. One more good ball to be bowled to bring us to the end. Jimo Abdurrahman, no wickets at all. 37 runs, he gave away in 4 overs. Victor Ipoli, 1 wicket, 36 runs, he gave away 4 overs, 12 dot balls. Okeke Izuchukwu just bowled 1 over, had no wicket, gave away 10 runs and 4 dot balls. Mohammed Ridwanulai, both 3 overs, 8 dot balls and 21 runs, no wicket. Karim Gafar has 1 wicket, 23 runs, 11 dot balls in 4 overs. The last good ball of this over and facing will definitely be Chima Akachukwu. I hope he won't end this over with a maximum or sending it for a 4. I struggle to understand what happened to that missed opportunity of Jimo Abdurrahman. Looked like overconfidence under that ball and then missed that opportunity. At the end of the 20th over, 157 runs for loss of 4 wickets. Chima Akachukwu, 5 runs from 3 balls faced. Prosper, 22 runs from 9 balls. The Eastern Elephant need 158 runs in 20 over. It's doable, it's achievable. But see that again. The Central Eagles, Selim Salau, 83 runs from 61 balls. Prosper Hussaini, 22 runs from line balls. Emmanuel Oche Boniface, 21 runs from 20 balls. Taiwo Mohammed, the leading wicket taker for his side, 2 wickets for 28 runs in 4 overs. Victor Ipoli, 1 wicket for 36 runs in 4 overs. And Karim Gafar, 1 wicket for 23 runs in 4 overs. I would allow my colleague Peter to tell us how many boundaries and how many sixes did we have in the first innings.
The explosive start by Selim Salau saw him pick up 7 maximums, and that compared with the 3 maximums that Hussaini Prosper added to the team, that was 10 maximums in an inning. And the total boundaries played was 17 with 4 fours from Selim Salau and 3 fours from Emmanuel Boniface, taking the team's total to 17 boundaries in just 1 batting inning. And that means that there's a lot of tasks for the Eastern Elephants coming into the second innings.
Thank you very much, Peter, for that excellent summation of how it all panned out. And looking at the second innings, what exactly is required for this team is 7.9 per over is what is required for the Eastern Elephants to get the better of the Central Eagles. From the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval, venue of the Nigeria Super League, where we are having match 3, day 2 of this competition. We will be back in a short while.
waiting for that. I was waiting for that. I don't say they go so carry lights. That's why I noticed. Okay. Oh yeah, bring. Which one I won't come out now? No, no get it. Okay. Oh, so when I was saying it, my mouth they smell abi. So when I was saying it, my mouth they smell. So when I was saying it, my mouth they smell.
No. I've never caught myself saying it, so I have doubts. So yesterday I just picked it. I was like, hey? Nah. I'm 157.
Papa, do you guys have lights there now? Please, can we move that fan to you guys' side? Or can you remove it and see if it gets to their side? Which one did you give? You gave me one now. Okay, I'm trying to mix it.
This first thing was actually very interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody will not stop on everybody talks it.
All the people are talking.
Except that now the Papa don't talk it. Everybody talks it.
Papa don't talk.
No need talk for it, but don't talk it.
Okay, nothing. If the that person wants it, the that person for how many calls?
No, they didn't actually
You
take up
want-
boundary against Gafa. I think about their pressures.
Do you want everything after the end of the game, or you want it because if you're going to be half up, you're going to be disrupting it at the end of the game? I'll give you 5 for the first minute, 5 for the second minute. You don't have to make it.
No, it's not like it's not of those things. It's just like maybe one.
And so what I'm giving you is 10 seconds. They are the ones that will now start.
So it just one or two don't mean just just one or two.
Okay, I'll give you a leave zone then. I'll give that one where I sent to you, that wicket, that first one.
That first one.
Yeah.
Then you can just look for any other one.
Any other one, yeah, that's fine.
It's just you have to put in between.
That's fine.
No, I'm fine. Don't talk.
Mary, you can go and see by now.
Just wait my water. Wait my food.
As a document, I can't go.
You said that
Femi Timilehin, oh yeah, move. What's it padà wá? You know you have to still go to go and change that thing from kinikan to kinikan. Yeah, go. Oh yeah, resume. So I've sent you two. Resume, Oga.
The second inning is about to come to a start. 157 was what was put on the board with the Eastern Elephants needing 158. A competitive first inning that came to an end at the end of the last ball. And now the Eastern Elephants will have to chase, and they've sent in Ali Ramon up the batting order. He'll be going up against the first ball. And he's being paired alongside Paul Palm, two very competent openers. Ali Ramon, very experienced at elite level cricket, scoring 64 off 37 in his debut for the Senior Yellow Greens. International debut for the Senior Yellow Greens against Sierra Leone. So we would not be expecting anything less. For the Elephants, the message is very simple. Settle down quickly and assess the field, build partnerships, and chase that 157 like it is all that matters without falling behind or losing wickets consecutively. And courtesy of that first inning, the bowlers now have something to work with, but that still keeps the chasing side well within reach if they look to build their innings steadily and smartly. Peter Ho, their captain, back-to-back. In both innings, captains have decided to take charge of the opening ball. And Peter Ho, coming from the pavilion end, will be bowling to Ali Ramon. Okay, and we'll start. Opening bowler for the national team and opening for the Central Eagles. Peter Ho starts off with a wide. A wide off the first ball by the captain, Peter Ho. Not to worry, there's still 120 balls to be bowled for 157. This time at a much better length, but it's still wide and beyond the reach of Salim Salau. Very good with the bat, but couldn't go wide enough to meet that ball. And Peter Ho has given 6 free runs without the Eastern Elephant having to face a ball yet. And 6 runs have been subtracted from the totals needed. And the ball is still yet to be played with 120 balls still intact. This time outside of the wicket and caught behind Ali Ramon First run of a legal delivery gets himself off the strike. And Paul Palm will be on strike. A big hitter, very explosive, not too tall, but certainly plays big. And now the balls can now start to tick down as we are one ball off 120 balls. Total 119 ball is, but the required runs is still very huge. Just punches that ball beyond the reach of Hussaini Prosper, who was fielding at the goalie region. And Paul Palm adds 4 more runs. This time he goes off the bat. The bounce was punished and the space was found, and that adds 4 more runs. An interesting setup in this chase is the fact that, and the long one, there is going to be pressure on one side and opportunity on the other. 11 runs in just 2 balls, and it's looking like there can be a partnership build. We can shift momentum to the side for the first time of the Eastern Elephants. First dot ball. This time comes for the Storms. Not really surprised there. You're very familiar with this play. Outside of the wicket, but wasn't able to find the gap. Paul Palm, a fall of his first ball faced and 2 consecutive dots. Looking at it from a batting perspective, the Elephants will be aiming to stay calm, pick their moments, and avoid chasing the game too early. A chase of 157 is much about partnerships, and one solid strike can change the whole prospect of this game. Good comeback by Peter Hall, where he is gifted out 11 runs of his first 2 deliveries, giving a wide and a wide 4 of the 2 consecutive ball. But in the next 2 leg out deliveries, 5 more runs were added. And he's made amends, bowling 3 dot balls and 1 ball shy of ending and wrapping up the first bowling over. And for the second time, Paul Palm finds the same space and gets 4 more runs to the board. 15 runs, it is the total for the Eastern Elephants. No wickets lost and 1 over completed.
Peter, thank you very much for starting out proceedings as far as the second innings of match 3, day 2 of the Nigeria Cricket Super League is concerned, between the Eastern Elephants and the Central Eagles. 158 runs is the chase, and they are already overachieving after the first over. And to think that the captain of the Central Eagles, the man who was a Guinness World Record, 6 wickets for 5 runs in 3.4 overs and 1 maiden from the game against the Sierra Leoneans at the Unilag Cricket Oval back in 2021, has given away 15 runs. I want to ask you an in-swinger question, Peter. Will the captain drop himself for the 3rd over?
It is necessary to see Peter Hall, especially when you know the kind of quality that Peter Hall possesses for not just the Central Eagles, but the national side. They didn't have a very fantastic opening over, but that cannot be used to quantify or qualify the qualities that he possesses. So a second over, if he should decide to come, might be just give him the enough time and momentum and see enough corrections, and probably he will come back better. He did that with 4 consecutive balls actually, before Paul Palm found that space off that bounce. But regardless of that, I think Peter Aho has come back after that first 4 balls being bowled. The 2 opening bowlers of the national team in the same team are the Central Eagles.
Coming from the Court of Appeal end, Prosper Hussaini, who scored 22 runs from 9 balls and some maximums to go along with it, bowling to 2 familiar foes, one who represents Lagos, the other who represents Kaduna, but they both play for the same club and they are champions of the league, Paul Palm and Ramon Ali. They will be having a conversation in between themselves. See that again on replay. Good bowling there. Appeal, but umpire Habib Dahiru Hamoto Enesi showed no interest at all. He's not bothered. He just wants the game to go ahead as planned. Ramon Ali has faced 3 balls and just scored 2 runs below Ramon Ali's standard. Hands on the head. Another swing and a miss from Paul Palm. Much better bowling there from Prosper Hussaini.
Peter Aho and Prosper Hussaini very, very consistent on that good length and short of good length pitching when bowling. And their quick hands make it very difficult for batters to go for the ball at the first time on attempt. Paul Palm has settled in already. Same ball, same height, same length. It still couldn't make any difference, but the fumble by the wicketkeeper gives Paul Palm the chance to take himself off the strike and send Ali Ramon for the last ball of the second over. A very good comeback for the Eastern Elephants, and my corrections, the Central Eagles, seeing themselves give out 15 runs in the first over, and so far just 2 runs have been added to the ball for the Eastern Elephants in the second over. A slow down of runs going down from 15 per over. Currently the strike rate is at 9.27, courtesy of Hussaini Prosper.
Last good ball of the second over of this entertaining fixture. At 1 p.m., it will be the turn of 2 teams who started out losing in this tournament. Much better bowling there. And you could see Prosper Hussaini looking at that opportunity which could have ended in a wicket. And more importantly, the wicket of one of the finest batters in Nigeria, Nigeria's opening batter, who has got almost all the strokes you can think of in cricket. And at the just concluded Club Cricket Committee League 2025-2026 season, he emerged as the outstanding player of the year. And he also won the best batter, if my memory serves me right, at the 40 overs game when he played for Island Titans Cricket Club. But his original club is Government College by the Old Boys Cricket Club, where he emerged champion. And that earned him a scholarship award for him to study from first year to the final year. Congratulations, Ramon Ali, and we hope you make the best out of it.
Good comeback by Peter Aho and good start. First over was too early to make a judgment on his qualities. We expect to see more as they still have the ranks will be fine Udo in the bowling ranks. Paul Palm has definitely been consistent in cutting that ball into the gap at the backward point and gully region. This time he cut it above the infielder and gets himself a third consecutive 4 against Peter Aho.
Change your position there. Ifeanyi Ubo goes there to see what he can make out of that position at backward point. And then telling the youngster Emmanuel Oladejo, who is another member of the Nigeria's under-19 team when we hosted this tournament, to change position. What's going on? Paul Palm is angry. And to think that this is Peter Aho is really taking care of Peter Aho. Back-to-back 4s. The first one, he gave away 15 runs. Now he's on 8. What you do to me, we will do to you.
Yeah, has been bowling at the shorter length for Paul Palm, who has consecutively caught that ball and finding the gap behind. And now he decided to come full and was given the same treatment, but this time off the front foot and through the gaps and into the ropes. And he will have the last laugh. One of my perks about being a bowler is that you can always get that chance to make amends. You have 6 balls to do that. Paul Palm does not have a second lifeline, and Peter Aho has taken the opportunity to dislodge his bills.
But the only difference between the Eastern Elephants and the Central Eagles, they had a batter, Happy Backshaw, who was not happy because he didn't score runs. But this time around, he had to work, he had to go, and his day in the sun is over. Today, he has completed his assignment. Paul Palm will be feeling gutted that would have loved to stay more, but we are yet to see what Ramon Ali will do. And in comes a new batter putting on jersey number 68, Femi Oresonwo. A lot is rested upon his shoulder, and let's see what he does. They claim their first wicket, and the man we have, talked about not bowling according to what his talent can do. Peter Aho decided to strike.
Very much needed boost for not just the team but the bowler's confidence, who's been hit 4 times to the boundary. That outswing took Paul Palm off guard, and Peter Aho can breathe a sign of relief as to compensate for the 5 boundaries he has conceded to the team's total. 23 runs so far is given out and 1.4 overs bowled. Make that 27 to the leg side, coming full for Femi, and Peter Aho has seemed to lose grip on the ball and hasn't had a fixed line and length of bowling to a full length, and Femi deals with it amicably. on the leg side, and that was beautifully flicked. And there was no way Fielder was reaching there, especially in the power play overs. It's the final ball, and Peter Aho will need to do something similar with Paul Palms to get Femi out. Shoulder length this time, there was a pitch, and Femi couldn't kill the ball to the boundary. And then to the third over, 29 sits on the board as the Eastern Elephants are off to a flying start. Only 1 wicket lost.
Those are highlights of some of the brilliance of Paul Palm before he lost his wicket. Yet to see a maximum, no doubt. But then, this was the wicket and the moment. And that is Femi Oresonwo embracing the shot of a former Sri Lankan player, Tikaratnil Dilshan. They call it Dil Scoop. He has started his own onslaught, and that's what his teammates expect of him. One of the few players to score century at the just concluded Club Cricket Committee League. Ramon Ali, on his day, he can cause havoc, sending Prosper Hussaini to the boundary.
Swung big, couldn't make contact. Ali Ramos too tall as that ball ends on the glove of Salim Salau. No one is safe today. Everyone has been getting hit. Taiwo Mohammed and even Abdurrahman Jimo, who was off to a good start, got hit for 2 maximums of his last 2 deliveries in the first innings. And now it seems this is an open play of field, an even ground. And everybody is having a taste. Up in the air, is that a catch? No, it is not. As the final Udo had to race to the direction of the ball, couldn't get there in time, and Ali Ramo escapes a scare. Just edged behind the wicket keeper, and Ali Ramo will breathe a sign of relief.
You have to say they are making good use of this power play. 34 after 3.3 overs. Plays it up, an opportunity. And it's gone. Femi Oresonwo is shocked about the decision of umpire Habib Dairu Amoto NSC to raise that index fingers that batters dread. And that is it again on replay. The big question is, what was the complaint?
I probably felt that there was a huge bounce behind that ball, but there was no way that ball was too high, as he had made contact at the right angle and the right height. It wasn't in any way threatening the ailment, neither was it a full toss. It was a proper delivery that was felt to be dealt with properly. Meeting the end of the batter's glove. And Femi Oresonwo, we will not be happy losing a wicket, especially as the team are chasing very, very hard. This is still quite difficult. They need 124 as it stands in just 98 balls. It is very much achievable, but if the wickets keep plummeting this quickly, we might get into the tail end very soon. And that is where you know that the runs and those big shots are hard to come by.
They require from 98 balls, 124 runs. It is doable, it's achievable, but they've lost 2 wickets. And in comes Dada Tolu Alashe, who emerged as the best batter for Division 1. And a lot is expected of him. Dada Tolu Alashe.
Let's just hope he ends by then. Let's hope he ends by.
Two wickets already, 2 quick wickets for the Central Eagles. Playing on land and soaring with the ball and bat. The runs have been reduced. As right now, we have the batter for Dada Tolu Alashe. Prosper getting the better end of the 4th over. It is 34 on the board at his hits and just 2 wickets. Huge task ahead for the Eastern Elephants. And there's that wicket appeal where Femi was in disbelief, felt that he could have gotten another call, but that was the only decision and the umpire gave it, and he goes out.
4 overs gone, 34 for loss of 2 wickets. They need 124 runs in 96 balls. The current run rate they are overachieving. It's at 8.50, and what is required is 7.75. And I must say that aside from the wickets that the Eastern Elephants need to keep, they are getting more than what is required. Ifeanyi Ubo will take over from Peter Hall, though he has 1 wicket to his credit. But truth of the matter is that the runs he has given or he has conceded has been enormous. The reason he has to take a break and probably come back at the latter stages of the game. Ifeanyi Ubo will be bowling to a familiar foe, the opening batter of his team. The only difference is that they both played for Nigeria at under 19, but at different levels. While he played under Sylvester Okpe at the first ever World Cup Nigeria attended in 2020 in South Africa, Ramon Ali has never been to the World Cup before. By 4, leg by, signaled by Umpire Sukomi Odedele. Peter, they are getting the required runs, but then they just need to keep their wicket if the Elephants from the East hope to claim a victory over the Central Eagles.
The Eastern Elephants certainly are putting runs on the board, but the Central Eagles are making it even easier for them with Peter who having those expensive 2 bowling overs. And on the leg side, it's come several times. And this one, it is the Eastern Elephants with their own very first maximum coming from Ali Ramon, the opening batter for the side. The victim this time is Ifeanyi Udo.
See that again, stand and hit. And to think that Ifeanyi Ubo is the first Nigerian at the World Cup under 19 to be precise to win a player of the match, and that was the classification game against Japan. 10 runs. And he gets it, man! What a great comeback! If it's at club level, Ramon Ali will jump on Ifeanyi Ubo. But now, Ramon Ali is coming out of his batting crease sad after scoring 10 runs from 2 balls, 1 a leg by, the other one a maximum. He has lost his wicket. And in comes another batter that Peter will be introducing.
Yeah, Ali Ramon and Ifeanyi Ugo felt disrespected by the young lad who hit him for a maximum, and that was his form of revenge, and he had the last laugh. But the years had to go out, and now the captain who captained Ali Ramon at youth level at the Under-19 World Cup qualifiers, Abdulkarim Ghaffar, who come in, the only batter who wasn't in for a maximum will need to come in and pull something off. And there is that wicket replay. The ball stayed low. Ali Ramon didn't make a decision up until that ball's approach, and that was the consequence. Momentum has been consistently rotated between the two sides. Eastern Elephants picking up runs in the 2 overs of Peter Hall. And Prosper Hosseini and Ifeanyi Ugo have made sure to remind them that cricket is a team sport and there's more than one bowler. Not everyone can be a meal to feast on. 3 wickets already, getting into the middle order, and there's still a long way to go as they'll be needing 114. A dropped catch opportunity, and you can understand why Ugo Ifeanyi was already going downwards. They moved on to the ball, but certainly prevented any run from actualizing. A big catch attempt would have been on a hat-trick ball. Certainly, it's not pleased about it, but it is better than giving out a run. Second life given for Abdulkarim Jafar. Can he maximize it? Ifeanyi has found that line and stayed with it. The 2 batters who until now didn't get a single run, but Karim Ghaffar has ticked himself off the runs board, registering 1 run as the partnership looks set to begin between these 2 duo. Very patiently playing off the back, late reaction since that ball going nowhere, as there was hardly any power being employed behind it. It is the end of the 5th over, 45 he sits at, and 3 wickets are falling for the Eastern Elephants. A wide ball for Prosper Hosseini as he starts the 6th over, making this game and this inning easier as the Eastern Elephant will welcome every source of run they can get, be it the boundaries or the bite runs and even extras. Everything will be counted to the board. As now we're down into the last 90 balls and it's 112, 22 runs shy of parity. Good comeback, start ball swings, misses. Karim Rafa still on strike. This is where the patience of the batters will be tested. And temperament is very, very important because every dot ball mounts pressure on the batting side and eases tension on the bowling. Hopefully, tension doesn't eat too much into the bowling side as they are off to a good start. Good comeback to commend them even better.
What is going through the head of Taiwo Mohammed, captain of the Eastern Elephants, as well as the coaches, Coach Tamuno John and Coach Efosa Ahawa, is for these batters to keep their wicket and have a batting partnership. Dada Tolu Alashe, best batter for Division 1. Karim Gafar, former captain of Nigeria's under-19 team. These two young stars will be hoping to form a formidable partnership. But Prosper Hosseini has a lot to say about this. Into his third over from the Court of Appeal end. They want to do two, but no is the call. And a good backup there from the captain of the side. In the words of one of the finest batters of all time and former opening batter of the Indian cricket national team, Virat Kohli, he said something very instructive. Once I get into the batting crease, I just look at the overs. This is what we require in this over. If we get it, yes. If we don't get it, we move on. And then I begin to look at the next over. But you have to say that they are getting almost everything that they require. Eastern Elephants. But what they are not getting as we speak is the fact that they've lost 3 wickets. Femi Oresanwo, Ramon Ali, Paul Palm.
Big swing and a miss. As that ball really raced to the boundary, gets snored. As Peter will give that ball a big chase all the way to the boundary ropes before that ball could reach. And they will settle for 2 runs and bringing the team's total to 51 for 3 at the end of the power play.
Dada Tolu Alashe, 50% strike rate. Faced 6 balls, scored 3 runs. This is a sharp contrast to someone who emerged as the best batter in Division 1. And of course, Karim Gafar have also faced 5 balls and scored 3 runs. And they need 107 runs in 84 balls. The current run rate is at 8.50, and what is required is at 7.64. So it's safe to say that what they want, they are getting. Ifeanyi Ubo, who claimed the wicket of Ramon Ali, is back again. Great start into the second over of Ifeanyi Ubo.
Good peak by Karim Gafar, meeting that ball at full stretch, but still isn't finding the gap. But certainly he has found a way to maybe find Ugo's balls. What remains is to find the gap, and what I would expect Ifeanyi to do is pitch that ball a little further. Even further he did, and Abdul Karim Ghaffar couldn't play it beyond. There's an expanded field setting at the end of the power play, as there's an extra covers, a long off, a deep square leg, and a third man. They've decided not to use a deep mid wicket or a long on, as they are more focused on restricting the runs. And in fact, Ugo is bowling to his field setting.
One thing that can be an Achilles heel or can haunt them going forward, the Eastern Elephants, if those dot balls, they need to look for those spaces. And that's what he has just done. They don't want to do two, but no is the call. It's Prosper Hussaini that is there. You don't want to take that risk. You need to start looking for those spaces. In looking for those spaces, the boundaries will definitely come. But failure and you continue to drop the balls, pressure will keep mounting. And at some point in time, you will now have to start looking for huge total in every over. Ticking those boxes, what they have been doing. But you have to give credit to Ifeanyi Ubo.
Yeah, they are off to a much better start than the Eastern Central Eagles in the first inning of play. As of the 10th over, the Central Eagles were on 61 and 10 overs completed. Right now, the Eastern Elephants are on 53 and we're just into the 7th over. And if they can keep their wickets much longer as the game progresses, they might actually beat that score total and set the new team's tournament highest in the Nigerian Super League. A drive intended, but the ball will nick the bat and go backwards. A start run opportunity takes Karim off the strike, and that ends the 7th over. It is 54 on the board and 3 wickets lost.
And looking at the batting scorecard of the Eastern Elephants, Ramon Ali, 13 runs from 10 balls. Paul Palm, 16 runs from 12 balls. Femi Oresowo, 4 runs from 3 balls. Danatolu Alashe still batting. He has faced 7 balls and scored 4 runs. Karim Ghaffar has faced 10 and scored 5. That's how things are. Okeke Ichuku here to bat. Jim Abdurrahman, Taiwo Mohammed captain, Victor Ipoli, Mohammed Ridwanullah, and Pius Favour. He's doing the score inning. How can you say Ifeanyi Ubo 10 runs? Ifeanyi Ubo in this over has given about 3 runs or 4 runs. In the first over he bowled a leg by or 4. He was hit for 6, 10 already before he now got the wicket of Ramon Ali. Am I correct or not? Yeah. And now, so
it wasn't a 4, it was a 5 1. He didn't go for a 4.
Did you not go for a 4?
No, he didn't reach a 4. But then there was the 6. I think they played him 1 more run in that over.
Was that 6 or 4?
It was the 6. The one that Ramon played was 6.
Okay. So the bye does not count to him. The leg bye doesn't count to him.
Oh, okay.
So the leg bye doesn't count to
It doesn't count to the leg bye. It's a fielding extra.
Oh, okay. I thought
By is the keeper's is a fielding extra. By leg by those are fielding extra. So it doesn't count to the bowler go if so a by is a good ball. Now keeper miss am.
He also played for a team that didn't really do well this season, the Super Eagles. Aziz Waris, under 19 player, good at what he does. An opportunity for 2 or 3. They are not running very fast and they need to be very mindful of that.
The decision to not employ a fine leg, short fine leg, still surprises me given the fact that you're using a spin bowler, a leg spin bowler, and at some point the ball can be flicked to the leg side, and that will give the fielding, the batting side an advantage. And Aziz Waris needs to put somebody on that end, or the batting side will capitalize on that advantage.
Somebody is listening to you and they are trying to make that amendment. Plays it up and looks like he will be gone. And yes, he's gone. He has to take a walk. His teammates at under 19 set him up. Waris, see what he did to Karim. And he's gone. Beautiful catch there from Chima Akachuku. And you have to say there is an ecosystem of people who know each other and one another well. Waris Aziz used to be the teammate of Karim Gafar, but he was caught by another former teammate of his. And that's talking about Chima Akachuku, who used to be the captain. I see that again on replay.
The ball was an uncomfortable spot, and Karim Jafar could have done a little better, but he did not really read the pace behind the ball very well and went off his first instinct, and that has put him and the team at an uncomfortable position. 4 wickets lost, and we are not yet into the halfway stages, but we are almost halfway into the batting order of the Eastern Elephants.
Well, this should cause for worry for the two coaches of the Elephants, and I'm talking about Coach Tamuno John, who should be worried about the fall of wickets, and the coach of the Edo State cricket team, who won medals at the last National Sports Festival, the 22nd edition in Ogun State, Efosa Agawa. And now he will be hoping for a favor because Pius Favor is in. Lovely piece of bowling there from Waris.
Waris knows how to turn that ball very well and got himself that wicket with that attempt. But now no one is trying to go big, and that was beautifully played by Pius Favor. Was very excellent in the field in stopping balls from going to the rope. And now he is there comfortably finding the gap, taking the ball little by little. Just a matter of time to see if these two duo can build up a partnership. Remember, I said as this inning started, I said the Eastern Elephants have a fighting chance if they can keep wickets and avoid losing their batters consistently, which they've not been doing so far. They've gone on to play big shots and gone out almost immediately, and that has made them lose balance at some point in the game. They really need to fix that, maintain momentum, maintain consistency most importantly, and try and push this game down the wire.
must say that they still have some batters who you can call game changers. CC, the likes of Taiwo Mohammed yet to bat, Jim Abdurrahman yet to bat, Victor Ipoli yet to bat. Not also forgetting Izuchuku Okeke yet to bat. And so these are batters who can change the course of the game. And now it's Chima Akachuku coming from the pavilion end. He cuts immediately. He gives it a chase. And they stop it. 2 runs taken. Lovely piece of fielding there by the man who scored 22 runs from 9 balls, which included 3 maximum. The Prosper Husseini.
They didn't call big man for nothing. Give that ball a very big chase. They want to make the Eastern Elephants work hard and create tension. No sudden boost in the runs. Finding gap in between the infielders, but the outfield has proven to be the most difficult places to find, as the fielding placements are in arrangements and in alignment with the shots of the batters. So there's a lot more to be done and a lot more tactical approach that will be needed by the Elephants. There is a game on land, but it is the birds who seem to be flying even higher.
After this game, day 2, match 4, we'll see Battle of the Amphibians. The Southern Sharks taking on the Western Dolphins. The Battle of the Amphibians, a water battle, will be fought on the land. And I must say, big credit to the organizers of this competition, led by our very own Dr. Uyi Akpata, President Nigeria Cricket Federation, who has said we want to give players an opportunity. The reason we are trying to replicate what happens in the Indian Premier League, where we see players being drafted, and that was what we witnessed on Saturday, the night of May 2026. And now we have various teams, 6 franchises, 1 venue, 1 winner, and 20 explosive matches across 15 days. That brings us to the end of the night over, and very, very shortly, you shall be hearing the voice of someone I keep his name discreet, but you'll get to know. Your guess is as good as mine. See the bowling scorecard. Peter Ao, 2 overs, he has bowled. You don't want to know how many runs he has given away. 27 and 1 wicket to his credit. Hussaini Prosper, 1 wicket to his credit, 12 runs, and of course 3 overs he has bowled. That's a bit of what you can see. We've also seen other bowlers like Chima Akachuku also coming to bowl. New bowler.
Walis, that's not new bowler. Still Walis.
Wasn't concentrating there, Pirates people. That was a chance for another run. My correction, that was Dada. Wasn't paying attention, and that was a chance for another run that has been lost for the Eastern Elephants, and he will have to make amends for that with his body. He's now on strike, and he would need to justify that.
And honestly, I am really gutted that at this stage, Dada, who was the best batter in Division 1, does not understand the brief of what he needs to do. 2 balls, 2 dots, more pressure on the Elephants, and that would have been an opportunity for maybe a Pirates favor to face Waris.
Up in the air, that ball goes and into the safe hands of the field inside. Moshood Mohammed didn't have a very good time with the bat, but certainly is very, very excited with that catch. And now Dada will walk back to the stands, not very pleased with his batting activity, registering just 6 runs off the 12 balls he's faced.
Do you know what was playing in my head? If you were to be a team where you are supposed to earn your weekly wages, I would ensure that that act of Dada Tolu Alashe, where he lost concentration at a very critical moment, your money that you are due, your weekly wages, you either take it to the orphanage or old people's home so that it can serve as a way of resetting your brain when you play a game next time. You missed an opportunity for an additional run, then you dotted 2 balls and eventually played a shot that is totally unacceptable, and then you lost your wicket. 5 wickets down with this stage is almost looking like a daunting task for the Elephants.
I have to agree with you, Sheon, on this one because we're already into the halfway. The Central Eagles have already eaten halfway through the Eastern Elephants batting order. There's 5 more wickets at hand, and we are almost into the halfway point of this game. Waris already with 2 wickets for his name and has not conceded that many runs. Finally, that decision to have a fine leg is paying off, even though the wicket keeper has to cover and pick up that ball. But there's a fielder in place for such situations, and they should be prepared for that at all times.
You can say that they are the architect of their own fortune or misfortune, if you want to call it that way. One of the reasons their opponents scored that huge amount of total, how do you explain? You told me, Peter, they dropped 6 catches. As if that was not enough. There was misplaced fielding, and then they gave second life, and some even got third life, and that's why we are having what we are having. Ramon Ali and Popam, batting partnership, 25 from 16 balls. Ramon Ali and Femi Orosanwo, 9 runs they had from 6 balls that they faced jointly. Dada Tolu Alashe and Ramon Ali, they faced 5 balls and got 10 runs. Dada Tolu Alashe and Karim Gafar, they faced 17 and scored 12. And the current one we are seeing now is Pius Favour and Victor Ipoli. This is the first part of the second innings. They need 91 from 60 balls. We are going for the drinks break. When we return from drinks breaks, we shall be hearing the voice of one of Africa's finest match day commentator. Who is that person? You will get to know.
Sorry, how is he fine? How is he fine? How is he fine?
Dada yẹn Ọlọ́run tó bá ń san sálárì.
The person wey dey come is how is he fine?
It's another level. You will learn. It's coming
This
from
level
another level.
different pass
Division
the
1
level.
is different from the level.
This
No,
level
you don't get
They
start
say
saying.
you kill him. You won't kill the boy.
No, no be
You can't
so.
kill a boy who just
Because
can
it's
see.
not.
It's like carrying Sean and throwing him to go to college junior football team. What will he do? He won't do anything now.
But you no get it at the top.
I know say they pay you.
He dey pay me
You go
because
learn. That's why you know that coaches.
he suppose focus. You can't know
For your mind, you say no more focus. For your mind, you say no focus.
I'm curious. That's this thing that Femi was appealing. Or was
Hey, he thought he was above his neck now.
but we knocking for a year like this.
He played it behind.
So you are easy.
He played it from behind. That's why I played it twice. I go dey talk say wait, who's doing post match? Okay,
Yes, they play smart. Then behind is doing second game.
I don't want you to call me sir. Call me EMBY. That's my name. In cricket, we call ourselves first name. Abi? Seriously? No, you are in cricket now. When you need me for me, you are in cricket now. Abi, it is. In cricket, if we play on the same team, you be saying sir, why are they drop catching? You say sir now. You say hey, you know, say they move on now.
That's similar to saying with all due respect.
You understand? These people oppress these guys. They scored in the first 8 overs, they were 80 something. And in the next 12 overs, they crashed on 80.
The lineup, the moment Ajekun Daniel left, the lineup just crashed.
That was crazy.
Seun Ajidagba will step out now as Endurance. Seun stepped aside as Endurance Ufim will come into the Consborg. Endurance, it's lovely hearing your voice on the second match day in a row.
Well, we'll talk about how murderous Peter is. My name is Ofem. Ofem. That's how to pronounce the name. And good afternoon, our viewers, and back to the Consborg's exciting moments for Eastern Elephants, beg your pardon, Central Eagles, who have dominated proceedings. It's Chima Akachukwu to Ekpoli. Plenty of potentials here today, this afternoon. Weather is great. Ekpoli Victor and Pius Favor. Akachukwu Chima played for Nigeria a couple of times, needing 91 runs to win in 58 balls. The required run rate sitting at 9.4. The Eastern Elephant will have to do a lot more to get back into this game. Brilliant shot on the back foot. That's the way to start. That's the positivity you should bring to this game. Ekpoli Victor, 4 now of 5 deliveries. And that replay, that short pitch delivery. The good thing is Chima stayed on that line long enough. It's just that Tolu Adada just did not get on the back foot and across to make contact. The batters need to take advantage of that opportunity. If you look at that field placement, backward of point, deep extra cover, no goal in place. Again, slower delivery, brilliant thinking. Good comeback by Chima Akachukwu.
The Eastern Elephant having a better strike rate than the Central Eagles had in the first inning, but they're already halfway into the batting order, and any more fall of wicket could see the run slow down even faster. As of the first inning, it was 61 after 10 overs completed.
Brilliant running between wicket, a bit of pressure there on the fielder. Just they want a second and they get it. Quite sloppy here by Central Eagles. Akachukwu Chima disappointed. He understands what it takes at this level. Just 2 bad overs can change the game and turn it around. Showing displeasure to the fielders. Everything counts here. The statistics. 85 from 55. Oh, brilliant line. Slower delivery there again. He's just got to show professionalism. I know how disappointing and frustrating that can be. And it's the end of the 11th over. Scores are 74 for 5. 84 runs from 54 balls. It is cricket. We've seen it before. All it takes is 2 big overs and this game could turn around. These batters just have to believe. The question is how much more batting strength do they have? More and more pressure here. In Pius' favor. It's currently on 8 from 9 deliveries. Just have to find our partnership alongside Ekpoli Victor. Just trailing behind with 3 runs and over. And currently sitting on 6.4. Looks to go big. And that one misses everything. The dugout under pressure, screaming everything down the throats. They know they've got to run fast. Eastern Elephant will take a couple and the extras coming from that delivery. As his worries, I think he's just trying too hard and trying to bowl too quick. he probably would focus on his loop and turns. When he does that, he gets away with plenty of variation. That's the line. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. You want to focus on turn, not just looping it. Brilliant shot by Ikpoli Victor. He's got the ability. We spoke about it. No worries. That delivery again. Just overpitched that one. Again, trying to turn it from that middle and leg stump. He should be looking at the middle and off stump line so he can force perhaps a leading edge as he leaves the right-hand batter. All this time shots and plenty of room. More boundaries, we spoke about them. They can come in numbers. If you're not careful, you could give the game away in quick successions, and that's what looks like the Eastern Elephants are taking this now. That this time it was short and wide, and Ikpoli Victor obliged by ensuring that they get the needed boundary.
One thing the Eastern Elephants need as this game is going on is building partnerships. Ikpoli and Pius are doing that as it stands. Ikpoli Victor going all out in this bowling over. But still a lot to be done. And they are not far from victory as it stands. If they keep on going as explosive at the start, they might take this game down to the wire.
No worries, haven't been consistent, trying too hard, not focus. You can see from the follow-through of the initial delivery coming right across the wicket. This time he's staying up. He needs to show consistency. Plenty of focus, these youngsters. This over is becoming too expensive. Brilliant shot again. This time protection in the deep. Good protection. They got 2 from that one. And this is what we talk about. And sloppy fielding, they're getting a third. The excitement in the dugout now. They know they're coming closer to what might become an interesting chase down. And more runs. Warriors feeling disappointed.
Previously, it was on 2 for 9, now on 2 for 21.
Mm, 14 runs already from that over. We talked about what could change this game in just 2 big overs. 15, 18, or 20 runs overs could change and turn this game around. He goes big. Didn't really get hold of that, but they will run very hard. And sloppy fielding there, making this over, 17-run over. Really, really disappointing by the Central Eagles. They need to do more and much better. This is brilliant work. The captain here needs to think and find a solution. Just not backing up. The basic things not done.
So far, the problem hasn't been the area balls as they've taken their catchy opportunities. But in terms of the ground and backup system, it's been quite sloppy.
66 runs required now from 48 balls. It's 92 for 5 after 12 overs. Into the crunch stage of this game. Not so far from what can possibly become an interesting chase in today's encounter. Central Eagles will have to walk through this rhythm and partnership. They have to find the bowling pair that would change proceedings here. But it is Eastern's Elephants who have a lot more to do. And not so much in a comfortable sit right now because they've lost 5 wickets. But again, it's Chima. Well, it seems everything on the bat now becomes the runs. Pius Favor gets off strike. And this will really be interesting to see how Pius and Victor Ikboli can hold their nerves to carry this through. The dugout is becoming louder. The expectations and coaches are on the edges of their seats. The captain, Taiwo Mohammed, standing up, knows as far as this is concerned, anything can happen. Soft hands there. Dot ball. Every dot ball now is important. It feels like gold to the Central Eagles. Akachuku Chima is the one ensuring he keeps that going. And that dugout gradually staying excited. Brilliant shot, but protection in the deep. This will go around. They want a second noisy call. Tired legs perhaps. Just taking their time. Again, the throws haven't been very good. And that shout, they want it. They know how important this is. You can call it the bench pressure. Gradually. And straight to the field at Waris at covers. Smart bowling by Akachuku Chima. 64 runs in 45 balls. Not too far off. Just one big over and keep rotating strike. You never know. Brilliant shot this time. But fielder comes in protection. Just a single. Good to see this partnership gradually becoming something for the Eastern Elephants.
The Eastern Elephants are already drawing momentum to their side, rotating shot, rotating strikes, and capitalizing on the fielding errors by the Central Eagles. It is the land, it is their land, and they want to assert in dominance as it stands.
Not being great fielding efforts here by the Central Eagles. Again, one becoming two. Really become really disappointing. Now 96 for 5 from 13 overs, itching closer. Short pick delivery, hit straight to the fielder at point. Again, disappointing. Something needs to be done here. Eastern Central Eagles just not getting things right. With coordination, sloppy fielding. He goes big on the offside. Will he get it? Safe body will go all the way. Disappointing. More and more disappointment here. Pius Favor is showing strength. That's the needed boundary. Short again on the offside, inside out. This is hard yards. Central Eagles putting themselves in a very, very difficult situation here. Gradually, the required run rate is closing in. That's 1.45 behind in the required run rate. And this is pressure situation. Will this be the second big over they're looking for? As the century comes up. Now this is where the batters will have to think. You don't have to smash everything out of the park. If it's not there, singles can come there. You gradually walk your way through. He goes big, but protection in the deep. Just a single.
Currently, there's an 18-ball advantage for the Central Eagles. But how long can they maintain it, as they want to keep these runs out of reach for the Eastern Elephants?
18 balls could become an easy task and walk in the park. In the air, will it be taken? Fielder comes around it, no. Drops no man's land. Again, sloppy fielding, no coordination. 2 runs should have been 1. Ikboli Victor and Pius Favor working hard, and they might just be lucky and becoming heroes for today's game. Should Central Eagles. 54 from 37 balls now. He goes big again, straight to the fielder, drops short of him. And that could have been a catch if he anticipated it enough.
Wasn't really played too much. There wasn't really much of a power behind that ball. There's too much of a power behind that ball, and Prosper Hussein had to wait on that ball. Anyways, it is 53 that is needed now of the next 36 ball. Central Eagles are at an advantage here with balls, but there's an explosive pattern right now currently ongoing with the Eastern Elephants, and it is a matter of time before we see how much more they would need to do to claim this game and post a new team best total if they eventually do here at the Nigerian Super League TBS Cricket Over.
Ifeanyi Ubo will continue from the pavilion end, starting with a wide straight up. Slogging that one. Victor Ikboli have to look at that option of scoring straight in the V or on the offside. He's dragged everything onto the leg side. Has plenty of power bottom shots there. In the air, opportunity, will that be taken? Yes, it is. Disappointing. In Pius' favor departs for 17 of 18 deliveries. We spoke about it, Peter. We talked about that partnership that is needed. And that opportunity always comes there. And that man, Prosper,
And finally, we're going to see the captain himself, Taiwo Mohammed, step in and bat for the first time. And this time, the team needs him more than they did in the first innings. Just 51 is needed of the next 34 balls. It is not that much of a huge task as long as the wickets can stay.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing. Taiwo can also bat. If you're not careful, he can take the game away from you. But we know how rusty he has been. Not played for a long time because of that ankle injury sustained representing Nigeria. But it's good to see him back and being able to lead a side in this tournament. He's going to be facing his teammates, national teammate Ifeanyi Ubo, who is reeling. He's gotten 2 wickets, giving away just 12 runs. Well, let's see how things pan out here. This time, don't go near the umpire's lines. White ball. And first up, every bowler seeing a left-hander would want to bowl across them. That's difficult areas to play for left-handers. You can say that about men like Brian Lara. Soft start, not required, perhaps. That's mindset. It's war out there. They know it. Salim Salah just saying sorry there to Taiwo Mohammed. He's experienced enough not to worry. They're having those conversations there with Ikbole Victor, who's just going to have a look. 25 of 18 deliveries. If Taiwo Mohammed can stay in this game till the end, they might have a close chance.
Fine, he's doing a good job as it looks like, making sure that those runs are not coming and reducing the balls even further for the Eastern Elephant. The more dots, the more pressure, and that way they might even get more catches if the tension rises higher.
Disappointing wide delivery. I'm trying to bowl a slower delivery this time again. And he has to watch it. He's bowled 3 wides in this over. And a single. That's 4 runs given away. Plus a wicket. More wides here. 3 deliveries yet to come. Beg your pardon, 2 deliveries left from this over. Time and time again. Brilliant shot this time. He managed to find a gap. Just Ifeanyi slowing things a bit. It seems he's struggling there with that smile. We'll have to check him up. I hope that is fine.
Yeah, since that hit in the ego in his second bowling over, he's been really uncomfortable. But with that pain, he still managed to get himself a wicket.
The partnership chart again is Paul Palm and Ramon Ali, 25 of 16. Then Ikbole Victor, 41 of 29, with Pius Taiwo Mohammed joins Ipoli Victor, who is currently on 25 of 18 deliveries. They have to find a partnership. But this game is still in hand. It is T20 and anything can happen. Disappointing there is the huge numbers in this partnership chart. The extras 22 from 15 overs. Central Eagles will have plenty to work on. Dada Tuluashe, the young man, 2 centuries from last season, playing for Pioneers in Division 1 cricket, and him in place in this setup. As a conversation between the skipper and Prosper, Peter Hall. Plenty of work for them to do now. Peter would take this over from the Court of Appeal end. And he'll be bowling to Mohammed. Taiwo, skipper's over, you can say that. Who dominates? You can't be too sure, but for sure something good will happen. He goes big straight away, but this time to the fielder. Prosper Hosseini, that big smile. The big man, every day growing bigger.
Peter, who hadn't really enjoyed in his first 2 bowling overs, as he gave out 27 runs in that stride, and now he decided to come from an opposite end. He started off at the pavilion end initially in his first overs. Now he's come out of the Court of Appeal end, and remains to see if actually that decision rubs over the good luck charm to him and the rest of the team. 46 of the next 29. It is a huge task being summoned for the Eastern Elephants.
Starting with a wide straight up. More and more runs here. 1 run, first ball. Ipoli Victor having that advantage. Then 2 runs already. Every run now counts. 45 runs, 29 balls. Very possible. In this format of the game, we've seen very big overs come through. Brilliant shot, straight to the fielder, deep square leg. Just a single. Taiwo Mohammed gets the strike again. Over him. Brilliant shot. Not extending those hands, just going over the bowler. Another single.
Waiting for the right time to explode for Ipoli and Taiwo Mohammed. If they can take this partnership even further and reduce the runs to a comfortable position where they can explode without fear.
We've seen Taiwo Mohammed play at this level and creaming things away. They just have to wait as long as possible. He goes big again, straight to the fielder. Prosper wanted a catch rather than stopping it, which was a wise decision at this point. You can't be too sure. A 50-50 catch, but that was put down. 2 runs from that. There you go again. Didn't really flourish through that one. And brave effort by Prosper Hosseini. 6 runs from 4 deliveries. And 2 left in this over, bringing it closer and closer. But there has to be that big over sooner or later. This time he goes big. What a way to respond. That goes all the way. We spoke about it. And this is becoming that game we're looking for. If you're following, it is Eastern Elephant versus Central Eagles. And it's Ipoli Victor who have just creamed that man Peter Hall. who has struggled from the first over his board. Look at that again. Short pitch delivery. And he stands and delivers. Don't come near me. I'll take the maximum. That's what it's called.
Every time Peter has gone for a short pitch, he's been punished. In the first over, Paul Palm sent him to the boundary ropes on 2 separate occasions. This time, Victor Okpoli is the beneficiary of those short pitch balls, and he has made amends after the damage has been done. A run to clock and round up the figure at the end of the 16th over. It is 124 we have on the board. 6 wickets left. 34 is what's needed of the next 24 balls now. 10 ball advantage for the Central Eagles. 10 balls needed. 14 runs needed to bring parity. 2 ball and runs remaining.
13 runs from that over. Finishing things off. And Peter Aho knows how disappointing that can be. We're inching closer. It is Victor Ikpoli, that man on 34 of 22 deliveries. I'll tell you, we've seen cricket at this level. It's just 2 balls away, and things will turn around. We saw that yesterday in that game. Central Eagles here. Eastern Elephant needing just 34 from 24. I'll tell you, Peter, this is possible with these 2 batters, Ikpoli Victor and Taiwo Mohammed. All you need is 2 boundaries and game will be par. The spectators at the edge of their seats. Eastern Elephant dugout, hopeful, calmness. Everyone is watching. Who is going to win the death battle? Is it the bowlers or the batters? Nobody needs to tell Eastern Elephants because the captain himself, Taiwo Mohammed, is there with Victor Ikpoli. And it's Chima to Ikpoli Victor. Soft hands, he wanted brilliant cricket here. Will he get a second? No, is the call. Yes, they ran 2. Brilliant running between wickets. This is pressure. If you can't take the hit, get out of the kitchen, they say. And in moments like this is when you know if you are set for this stage or not. How you manage your team, how you respond to questions on the field, how you carry yourself, the image you show, the character in you will define you for the big moments like this. 32 runs required from 23 balls now. Oh, tries to go just calm, batting nicely. Chima knows it. He's been here before. He's played many games in this situation, and he knows all is required. He wants it, no easy call with Chima, go for it. Calmness, controlled aggression. Well done, Chima Akachiku. He knows it. Fielding hasn't been great today. If he throws that ball, they might not get the needed backup. I'd rather go with dot balls. And this is sensible cricket by Chima. Unfortunately, Ikpoli wants the strike, and he has it. As calm as Taiwo Mohammed can be, he can also be destructive. They have to pick that one big over. Oh no, everything works for, and fortune favors the brave. Will this go all the way? They're running 2. Taiwo wants a 3rd one. He's coming for it. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. 3 runs there. Fainted inside edge. Happy moments here for Eastern Elephant as they notch closer to the runs. Pundit to speak of this moment. Central Eagles look strong. They thought they had done it. They had it. And trust me, this is brilliant work by Victor Ikpoli. Taiwo Mohammed need now to keep their nerves down. 29 runs from 20 balls is just 9 runs away. 1 big over and things turn around here. If you're just joining us, it is a clash between Eastern Elephants and Central Eagles. in the Nigerian Super League here at the TBS Cricket Oval. Right in the dugout. Big dignitaries watching this game and teams here. Really real in here. And hopefully Eastern Elephant could give us that game to watch in our hands. Akachukwu Chima knows it. He's bowled brilliantly, but only giving away 5 runs from 4 deliveries. Let's see how he finishes this over. Everything counts now. Everything counts. He's bowling round the wicket this time to Taiwo Mohammed. Bowls him. I beg your pardon, that was a nick. And Salim Salah made no mistake. Again, the rustiness of not playing one whole season due to injury. Didn't go forward. Caught in between decisions. And that's the needed break that Chima Akachukwu found the break. Again, that replay. Just planted that foot straight up. Outside edge. Salim Salah does Chima Akachukwu the honors. Happy moment for him. Could that be the break they need? You never can tell. 7 wickets down. 29 required from 19 balls.
And now the new batter is Jimo. It is going to be a very daunting task. There will be no time. There is no. It is a big task. He's wearing a huge armor on his shoulder, carrying a huge burden now. And what they need, he and Ikoli Victor will need to play out this game and finish it and hopefully get this much needed victory for the Eastern Elephants.
I've seen Jimo Abdul Rahman scored 98 runs in a T20 game at the TBS Cricket Oval. Don't be surprised. He's got the ability. He can also hit it hard. He's done it before. The question is, will he stay and do it again? In a couple of balls, we'll find out. We spoke about it, and it started with a boundary. We talked about it, and this is it. This is game on. They wouldn't go down without fighting. What a way to finish that over. And that delivery again, just on the leg stump, and Jimo Abdurrahman does himself the glory days. Brilliant shot. Fielder coming around late. Couldn't get onto that one. And that's how this over ended. 17 overs bowled, 133 runs for 7 wickets. Now 25 from 18 balls. These 2 batters can take it to the wires and they can win this game. It's just one big over and then the story will change. Central Eagles will have to go back and think about their fielding and how many extras they've bowled here today and how many giveaways and boundary balls they've bowled. That is the learning point to take from your first game. And let's hope that these batters will make spectators happy. The pressure is on. They know it. Swinging now, pendulum to the bowling side. That man, Prosper Oseni, would have to now work extremely harder. Jimo Abdurrahman, 4 runs of just a single delivery, 400% strike rate. But he's got a big tax here against Prosper Oseni from the Court of Appeal end. Disappointing start, slower delivery, smart cricket here. But again, if you look at his field placement, there is no fine leg. Third man is up on the ring, fine leg up on the ring. Just one fielder. Extra covers, long on, long off, deep mid wicket. Let's see. A wide ball, more pressure, wide ball. Disappointing now. The pressure is up. (24 of 17). You can count it now. You spoke about the 16 runs, balls deficit. Peter, we're coming closer. Inside edge. I'll Salim Salah will throw everything at it. He knows. He knows. They will fight hard. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes today. A run save is a run made. Every run counts. Dot balls, nails on coffees. 24 runs from 16 balls. He goes straight and big with his goal the way it seems. Brilliant work, intensity. This is the attitude, the character you need at this stage of the game. And that fielder worked extremely hard. He thought he had gone all the way. Look at that effort. And that chase, eyes on the ball, goes up and punches it back in. This is a match-winning performance. Will he win it? You never can tell. Interesting, Victor Ikpoli here, taking on Prosper Hosseini. I won't go down without fighting. Brilliant shot again. Fielder in the deep, sloppiness, disappointing, making a mess of a good day. More and more pressure here. This is what we talk about at this stage. What happens? Are you holding your nerves or letting go? "19 runs from 14 in this over. 6 runs already and 2 deliveries left. Can it be 10? Can it be 12? Another dot. Dots balls are gold. Let's see how Ikpoli Jimo finish things up. Victor not interested. He seems to have that confidence that he could go on the way. End of the 18th over. It is 139 for 7. And it's the last 12 deliveries of this encounter. 19 runs required. It is possible if you believe, if you stay calm. Just to able to know it, the intensity is on. Well, the captain, Peter Aho, will be coming from the pavilion end. An opportunity to redeem his image. Will he do that? He believes in himself. He thinks he has the ability. He's the captain. He's made a choice and decision. It's Jimo Abdul Rahman. Oh, brilliant shot. If it is not your day, it's never going to be your day. They've got it in him. Ikpoli Victor playing a remarkable knock here, 44. And that delivery again, he walked across. You can't fault that ball. But that man, Victor Ikpoli, everything seems to be working for him. This is character. And this is character. You find it, who is hungry the most? 15 runs from 11 balls. Eastern Elephant winning. A lot depends on this man. Oh, cricket, this is cricket. He wants a second. Will he come for it? No, he thinks he's done enough. Jimo can also bat. You stay and bat. 45 or 31 deliveries. Interesting here. This is going to be one of the finest finishes of this tournament if they go all the way. Slowing things down a bit. You know it. Dot balls are not required now. Take advantage. You can as much as possible. 14 from 9. The calmness. Batters, players on the ropes. It goes. Will they get a couple? Yes, they completed. They want a second. They're coming for it. Are they quick enough? Yes. They needed 2. 4, 1, 2. The 7 already from that over. 2 deliveries to come. 12 of 8 deliveries. This will be an interesting show. Are we going to see a super over? You never can tell. Dot ball. Jimo will have to do a lot better than this. And keep getting off strike at this point, perhaps ensure Victor Ekpoli gets the strike. What I would expect now would be a boundary, not a single, and give Ekpoli that last over. We did get 2. He wants it. Oh, disappointing. Not properly calculated. Not properly calculated. 11 runs from 6 balls with Jimo on strike. You know it, the danger man is Victor Ekpoli. Anything can happen. This can go down the wire. Whatever your predictions are, walk through them, look through them, trust your judgment, and take a call. Who is going to bowl the last over? That man, Ifeanyi Ubo, will be bowling the last over from the Court of Appeal end. Near Central Eagles have the game in their own hands. He goes big. Does he have enough on that? No, just a single. What is he doing? He has to strike Victor Ekpoli. He's the man in form. He wants to give it away. 10 from 5 balls. This is cricket. Coach John Tamuno seated on the edge of his seat. He wants it. He knows it. The second delivery comes through. Would that be a wide? He didn't get it. He didn't move. Dot ball. 4th stump line. That delivery again. Still know it. 10 from 4. They've got to do something. Victor Ekpoli's got to do something. No, disappointing. Wide delivery. Wide delivery. They're back on. 9 from 4. He's played proper cricket shot. What is he trying to do? Just keep things simple. Full toss. Will he go all the way? Disappointing. That will be a no ball and a 6. Could that be it? Could that be it? Is it a no ball? Is it a no ball? What a way. Disappointing this. Happy moment on the bench. What could they be celebrating? The 6 or the 50? Or the fact that they're almost there? 3 runs from 3 balls. This is cricket. We've seen it. That delivery again. That full toss. Looks like he's going to go, but he's a tall man. What a way. Victor Ekpoli. What an innings. Swings and misses at this time. Contact is what you need. A runner ball. 3 runs, 2 balls. We spoke about the super over. Would that be it? Are we going to see a boundary? Ubo will be disappointed. Calmness. He knows it. They want a second. Will they get it? Disappointing. A run out opportunity. He's gone. He's gone. 1 ball, 2 runs. How do you take your team this far and give it away? Character. Character. This is cricket at its best. There was no need for that one. Jimo Rahman has got the ability. Just gonna throw the thing away. New batter on strike. Pressure is on. He will be facing that ball. And captaincy here, you would have expected that you squeeze the field. It's 2 runs required from 1 ball. Never been in this kind of pressure. Yes, it is Central Eagles who have won. Central Eagles, no biting game.
Thank you very much, Endurance, for that beautiful run of the game. It was a battle, a very fierce battle down to the very last ball. And the Eagles eventually soared and picked up a much-needed victory. Whoever thought that 157 would be very difficult to defend and drag down to this very extent? Big hits by Ekpoli, Victor, but it wasn't enough as that late fall of wickets cost the team very much. And Central Eagles can't breathe as they join on the top half of the table. Good performances. And we will see you at the post-match presentation.
Okay, yeah, I've taken it. I've taken it. No, it was somebody who mistakenly went to hit the connection. It has been corrected. We're back up. We're back up then. Like I just don't know. We actually corrected it immediately. Immediately I saw it, I corrected it. So we're back up. We're back up. Yeah. Oh yeah, Timila, you take it down. Oh shit.
I'm very sorry. Did the game cut?
Yeah, now. Okay, you know, you were. Timmy, oh yeah, take it. Timmy, take your camera down now. Where's Aji? Aji, now he's Aji! Aji! Post match! You know how to match it,
I think Andy didn't touch.
Eh?
I think Andy didn't touch.
Okay, guys, don't touch. Person should go there. Timmy! Timmy! Timmy Lenny! I need your signal first. Now me go correct you with signal now. I need your signal first. Carry the SDI cable for the signal. SDI cable for the signal. Don't worry about the framing. I'll correct you with the framing. So pass the SDI cable. Loosen it and pass it to the back. Hey! Easily roll it down now. Baba, calm down now. No, just drag down now. That is why it's long enough now. Timmy, you don't say drag things for here. We have put it there, Joe. Alright, I have your signal now. Minima corrected. Oh, yeah, plug the microphone. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Plug the microphone. Plug the microphone. Test it. Can you test the microphone? Let me hear. Is it on? Is it on? Is it on? Is it on? Talk again. Oh yeah, talk again. Can you talk again? Oh yeah, move your camera. Move your camera. I'm sorry, move the wire to it and give it to him. Okay. Give it to him. Take it. Oh yeah, one more try for the microphone. One more try for the microphone. What?
Correct. See, hey. They're not doing post match now. After the post match.
How can they be doing post match after play? How can we do post match after play?
I didn't know, but that is not still like.
I don't know. I go cut am.
Disorganized things.
Na yes. I dey cut am abeg.
Wait. Maybe you are streaming live. You're not gonna do toss and come back.
It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. So forget
Don't
it.
do that.
So-
So rather you cut it.
So if you are not doing post match, then forget it. If you are not doing post match, then forget it. It's live. I can't be
You are
waiting.
live, you can't
I
cut
can't
it.
be waiting that long.
You are
Do you
live, don't
understand?
wait, oh.
Ricky, you know that time you go take. You dey wait for post match exactly. Yeah, now you even tell am. Me, I go don cut am. Oh yeah, Timileyin, you plug back the stuff. Oh yeah, oh yeah, frame it well. Move it to Aziz. Move it to Aziz. He tell him to wait, Joe. Oh yeah, pan the camera up. Pan the camera up, Timi. Tell Aziz to move back. Tell Aziz to move back. Oh yeah, in 3, count him in. In 3, 3, 2, 1.
Calm under pressure. There were a lot of pressure around, but I don't think we were shaking. We were calm. We were looking because we had enough runs. We know that if we bowled our tidy areas and fielded well, we still had a chance to win the game.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right, you just heard from Captain Peter Hall. We were calm under pressure. The player of the match for today, honorable mention to players like Victor Ipoli, who did very well. But to help me present the player of the match is our third umpire for today, umpire Taiwo Ladujoye. And my player of the match, your guess is as good as mine. He was very insipid in the batting. 83 runs off 67 balls, Selim Salau. All right, Selim Salau, today I don't know what to classify you as. You showed why you are an elite opening batter. 83 runs off 61 balls with about 7 maximum to your credit. Congratulations, Selim.
Thank you.
How excited are you?
I'm very excited because I've not actually trained for this year, but basically I just went into like face enough of balls, push around, and that pushed me to the end.
And I'm sure Selim wants to win the best batter of the tournament.
Hopefully.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from Selim Salau. I'm very excited about this, but I hope that many more will come. From the post-match, my name is Shenwaji Dagba. Thank you very much.